legions, welcome once again to an extremely special edition of the What You've Been Watching podcast. I am your host, the undefeated Marvelous Mike Dudley, joined as always by my co-host, cohort, and youngest brother,
MD3 Marcus Dudley, checking in on the YOU. What is going on out there in podcast land? We are broadcasting live from the What Ya Been Watching studios right here on the south side of Tallahassee, somewhere between here and St. Mark's. I don't know where you're at, but I bet we're between it.
Just look for the lighthouse and keep walking.
Yeah, pretty much. We are joined today, once again, by Father X himself to help us settle this great debate of
Big Scotty D,
the greatest 90s movies.
I just want to remind you both that I brought you into this world and I can take you out.
You remind me every birthday.
Yes. Indeed he does. We want to give a big shout out to Kesta for the intro music.
Yes.
Always bright.
Always a bright day. That's right. And also Mr. A1 for the interlude beats. You can find him at, where's that?
a1reality.music@gmail.com. He's got the flavors for you that you need for whatever it is you got going on that you need music for. And that's his actual tagline from his business.
The man's a triple threat. He's a songwriter, he's a dancer, he's a pet sitter.
Yeah, a professional oyster shucker or something like that. He does it all. So yeah, you can write us in always with your thoughts after this episode at whatchabeenwatchingpodcast@gmail.com. Where else can they find us, my brother?
You can find us online at facebook.com/Dudley Bros Podcast. Or, we out here, I was out at the carnival biting heads off the chickens for $2 a gander.
Damn, I don't know if I'm going to be able to top that one. I was joking about selling bootleg something and run that one to the ground.
I got CDs, DVDs,
yeah,
Blu-ray,
STDs.
That's right. Selling all that. All right. Well, housekeeping, I believe, is done.
That's it, man. Let's get into it. You're joining us for part 2 of our Bracket Buster March competition.
Jump off.
Madness.
Jump off. Copyrighted.
I want to say that there's got to be some of these crap movies that you guys selected for this round. We got to get rid of some of them. I'm just saying that.
You'll have every opportunity to do that.
That's my goal. I know I'm outvoted here, but I just want to say there's a couple, in my opinion, and Marcus is going to go through it now, but there's a couple that I do not see how they made the cut.
Well, Dad, there's also like 200 other movies on the cutting room floor. Remember that we're doing this for history, so when people look back and they have any debate from now for eternity, they can look back at this podcast and they can thank us with reverence for our hard work.
It's the definitive work.
It is.
It's like the 10 Commandments, really.
Oops.
Yeah.
It's 5.
My people, I bring you the 10 Commandments.
All right, so as without further ado, we're going to start in our top left for those playing along at home. In our number 1 bracket, Shawshank Redemption outlasted American Pie to move on, as did Heat do more stunts than Rush Hour to move on to our first one. So that is our first matchup. We have the Shawshank Redemption versus Michael Mann, Al Pacino, and Robert De Niro in Heat. Father X, why don't you start us up here?
Shawshank Redemption is, I've said all along, I said it last week, I'll say it again this week. If it doesn't make the Final Four, I'm going to pull a Donald Trump and I'm going to sue everybody. And I'm going to ask for recounts and we're going to court. And that's just all there is to it. So prepare. I hope you're well financed with attorneys. Yeah.
As long as you're funding it, yes I am.
All right, well, I guess I'll go then next, whatever.
Sure, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to say this. I think it is Shawshank Redemption. But I will say this. I got to talk on Heat just very briefly.
Sure.
A lot of movies owe a lot to the movie Heat. I don't think we get to The Dark Knight in its opening sequence without the movie Heat. I don't think we get to The Town with the Wall of Famer Jeremy Renner if it's not for Heat. There's a lot of action movies that took a lot from that in terms of the bank heist when they all do it in broad daylight. And so I think that action sequence alone is worth a lot.
And the cop turns his head when they jump out of the car.
Yep.
He's looking like, should I do something?
I didn't
he
see him.
Turns the other way.
I didn't see shit.
Good call, brother. Good call.
I got 6 weeks to retirement. I ain't messing this one up.
So I took my mom.
You're talking about The Town.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, The Town, right? Yeah. So I took my mom to that movie and to The Town, and because she's from Massachusetts, and I thought she'd appreciate it. And she said, "You know, if they didn't say fuck so much in that movie, it would have been a lot shorter."
She's not wrong. No lies detected.
I mean, listen, just hear me out. As you said, a lot of other films owe a lot to Heat in terms of the cinematic aesthetic. I think that that's another great example of, and I know this is cliche to say, to where the city is kind of like a tertiary character. Like that movie could not have existed in any other time period other than LA in the early 90s. Both Al Pacino and Robert De Niro are exemplary in their performances. The tension between them is so palpable through the whole movie. And you just, the second you think it can't get, any steamier or bubble up anymore, it goes to this new level. It still hasn't broken yet, but it's just always simmering beneath the surface at a new level you didn't know was possible. That being said, Shawshank, I felt, was a little bit long in the tooth in areas. I think that you could tell the same version of that movie and still cut out about 15 to 20 minutes of it and not lose a beat. I think there's a little bit of false tension in terms of, Andy Dufresne is constantly trying to find a way out or find a way up the social ladder, and I think sometimes it's not, the tension there is not really earned. I think it's a little bit manufactured. So I'm going to vote for Heat.
I thought you were going to say something different when you were saying Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. I thought you were going to go, we're both bums compared to Val Kilmer in this film. No, all valid points. I still got to go Shawshank on this one.
Again, it's one of those, like, Shawshank might be a better movie, but if you ask me which one I want to watch right this second, it's going to be Heat.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Shawshank, every time it's on, I'm going to watch it. I don't care if I just saw it the day before or an hour before, I'll watch it again.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Well,
it's brilliant.
Shawshank Redemption, moving on over Heat.
And the performances in it, by the way, are all stellar. They really are.
Oh, I'm not denying that. No, I'm not denying that.
The warden, I mean, just everybody in it's great. Just it's amazing.
Well, let's move it on so we can talk those points next.
All right.
All right. In our next matchup, we have pure camp sci-fi fun, Fifth Element, which beat out, surprisingly, Titanic.
Not surprising to me.
Not surprising to me.
Not in this household. But, let's beat out Titanic, and we have Saving Private Ryan survived against Son of a Woman. Mike, you want to start us off on this one? Fifth Element versus Saving Private Ryan.
I mean, as much as I love Fifth Element for its unique appeal, and it has a very unique style. Like no other sci-fi movie looks like Luc Besson's Fifth Element. I mean, that's a guy who came in with a very clear idea and set it completely apart, which is really what you want in a sci-fi is, yes, I've seen, lasers and spaceships and stuff, but how is yours different than Star Wars, Star Trek, whatever, what have you? And I think he really does set himself apart. I think it is really campy, but it's just the right amount of camp. It doesn't turn it on too hard. It kind of walks the fine line between being a classic action movie and a campy action movie. But Saving Private Ryan is it's a cinematic masterpiece. I mean, you can't really beat it in terms of the cinematography and just the way it's shot, and it's so beautiful in parts and then so dark and dreary in the very next scene. Every character, you get to see their development, their character arc. So I'm going to go for Saving Private Ryan.
I would just say ditto. I loved Fifth Element. It was a great movie. It was like completely innovative, and even the campiness. I thought it was like really subdued.
Really?
I did. I didn't find it all that super campy. I just kind of like
even Chris Tucker.
Well, I just felt like I don't know. It seemed plausible all that was futuristic and whatever. So, but Saving Private Ryan is to me, again, I mean, what a wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't even, like, when I'm dodging the bullets in the theater when they're not coming at me, but it feels like they are.
Yeah. And
I'm crying my eyes out at the end when he's asking himself, was my life worth it? And all
right.
that.
Tell me it was worth it. Yeah.
That's a pretty amazing without being cheesy or anything. I mean, it was just,
it's not too ham-handed.
It's never cheesy.
Okay.
It was just brilliant to me.
What say you, sir?
I'm going Saving Private Ryan here, and I like the way that you spoke on the uniqueness of The Fifth Element. It's not it's part Blade Runner, part sci-fi opera, part a lot of things. So it definitely has its own flavor you can't get anywhere else. So good on you for pointing that out. But
Sure.
Great movie in its own right for sure. And but yeah, Saving Private Ryan, man. So, no disrespect. So.
No.
Yeah.
All right. In our next matchup, we have, and this is I think going to be a tough one actually. We have what's the Oscar? Oh, I'll just do it. It's Toy Story versus Clerks. Toy Story beat out Scream in the first match, and Clerks barely, and I say this, barely edged out Office Space to advance.
Ooh.
So we have Toy Story versus
So you're
Clerks.
saying Clerks isn't even supposed to be here today?
There you go. See, Michael brought it home for us. That's why he gets paid the big bucks. I'm tripling your salary.
What's 3 times 0?
Shit. All right. I guess I can start this one up if you want.
Yeah, please.
Man, this is actually really challenging because I'm trying to ultimately weigh what is personal to me versus what I think the correct answer is. Mm-hmm. And I think Toy Story is the correct answer in terms of impact, in terms of like it really put Pixar on the map. But Clerks is very close to my heart. But I'm leaning to go Toy Story just in terms of just impact. It really holds up still to this day.
Sure.
The animation is a little bit dated only because they've made such leaps and bounds.
Sure,
like,
yeah.
It's
not,
not
Toy Story is what, 2000 or 1998, 99?
something like I don't have all the
Right.
I didn't write all that down, but I mean it's not like unwatchable. It's not like you go back and you're like, oh man, this CGI is crap. You know, it
Right.
still holds up really
sure.
well. So I'm leaning Toy Story. But again, it's tough because Clerks is very dear to my heart. So
I have a counterpoint to that.
okay,
For me, it's going to be Clerks, just because I love Kevin Smith, and I think that, I mean, I've talked about it before.
Wouldn't you marry him?
I would. I mean, I don't know how his wife is going to feel about that, but yeah, sure. It's a very personal story for me because that was the one that got me into films as far as like really appreciating them and trying to understand how they work. So for me, it was a very inspirational film. Even setting aside that, I would argue that Pixar is very much founded in the Kevin Smith style in terms of Pixar was founded by a bunch of Disney animators who got tired of doing it the studio way. They decided to break off and do their own thing and ended up in many ways surpassing, what they had previously left. And so it was very much funded in the can-do, like, well, we're just going to make the movies that we would want to see, which is very much the Kevin Smith style. So I would argue that you kind of don't get to Pixar without the indie influence of Kevin Smith, but that's just where I'm coming from on that one.
So which one are you picking?
Clerks, yeah.
go ahead. But I appreciate your logic. It's a little too much of a leap for me though.
I agree.
I hear what you're saying though.
I was following the breadcrumbs until I wasn't.
Yeah.
And then I decided that
Counselor, you stepped too far.
Then I just decided that you were full of shit. So, I went from following the breadcrumbs to going, wow, somebody needs a
That's usually how it goes.
high horse. Toy Story all the way for me. So
Yeah. I don't think you get to Clerks without Slacker, Richard Linklater.
I would agree that.
So I mean that would argument falls apart a little bit, but
I was hoping no one was going to bring that up, but sure.
No,
and what's the other one with Winona Ryder?
Reality Bites.
You look like it. Yeah, Reality Bites. I mean, you could say, when she looks like a doily. But I don't think you get to Clerks without that either.
I think Clerks may have been before Reality Bites.
I think so too.
I think Reality Bites was 95 and Clerks was 93, 94.
Okay, all right. Well then, so much for that argument.
Yeah.
You are wrong, sir.
But there's so much in the same genre.
Yes,
that
yes,
they,
but very much that 90s independent filmmaker style,
Yeah.
Clerks is kind of on the list also because it represents a lot of those, like the Reality Bites, the Slackers.
It does. It's
the Dazed and Confused.
Part of the canon of that.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't
it's
talk
canonical, as they say.
Sure.
Can't talk 90s without talking that. Yeah. All right, moving on. We have Malcolm X, which beat out the movie The Ice Cube classic Friday. And we have Goodfellas, which performed a fatality on Mortal Kombat. So we have Malcolm X versus Goodfellas. Michael, you're going to start us off on this one.
See, that's a hard call, man. These are two really good I mean, it's Scorsese and Spike Lee. So, I mean, two directors that, especially at this point in their career, had not only defined the genre but redefined it, and were really hitting their groove in a very influential way. I mean, geez Louise, that's a tough call. I mean, Goodfellas got nominated for so many Oscars. I think that was the year. I think Joe Pesci won Best Supporting, and didn't Denzel? I know he was nominated, but I don't know if he won. I think he got beat out that year.
No, he didn't win for Malcolm X. No,
but he got beat out.
He won his first one in Training Day.
That's right.
Brilliant.
That's right.
Yeah, but yeah, no, Goodfellas. I don't think Joe Pesci won until Raging Bull.
No. He won. He definitely did. For Goodfellas?
I don't remember. I thought it was
Raging Bull was before that.
Yeah, Raging Bull was before that.
I could be wrong. Okay.
Raging Bull was definitely before that.
Either way, okay.
And that was De Niro also.
Yeah,
for sure.
Jake LaMotta.
Yeah. But either way, we're talking Goodfellas and
anyway.
So.
Yeah, that's a tough call, man. I mean, two directors that definitely have their own visual style, and it's kind of hard to compare them because they are so distinct, but not in a bad way. You know, like it's you can definitely see a Spike Lee movie versus a Scorsese movie. God, that's tough. I mean,
let me help you a little bit.
Okay, sure.
So, I thought about this afterwards after we did last week, and Spike Lee in the 90s talk about like something that sort of encapsulates an era.
Mm-hmm.
Spike Lee in the 90s was pretty much. Having said that, I don't plan to vote for Malcolm X, but I think it's really hard to. I don't know. Spike Lee is like an integral part of the 90s. He really is.
I agree.
And so I don't know. Is there another Spike Lee movie on there that we can vote for?
Do the Right Thing was before. It was 89, I think.
Okay.
And so that was the one I wanted
I
to
think
put
he
on the
followed
list.
that one up with, was it Jungle Fever he did after that?
He had a bunch. Bamboozled came out after that.
Yes.
He had hit after hit.
during the 90s,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And he's, he's brilliant at what he does. And so it's very much, you talk about the 90s, if you don't mention Spike Lee, you kind of sound like you didn't live through the 90s, actually. Yeah. So I was asleep for half of it. So, so I won't tell you which half, but...
the parts where the black people were on screen?
No, definitely not.
You talking about for Malcolm X or just the 90s in general?
for the 90s.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, not the movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah, not the movie. I don't sleep in movies.
I'm with you on that.
So anyway, I Goodfellas for me, but honestly, I totally understand the argument for Malcolm X. It was a brilliant movie. The story was told well. Malcolm X's story is astounding. Spike Lee is astounding, and he's part of the 90s. You honestly can't discuss the 90s and movie making without Spike Lee. So I don't know.
What say you, sir?
That was really well said. I actually just went back and watched Malcolm X since we assembled this list. Still holds up. This is like Denzel was in movies before this, but this is like him kicking the door down and being like, yo, I'm here.
Right.
And he crushed it. He plays a lot. I mean, they do a good job of not portraying, although he is a hero, certainly, they do a good job of showing all the messy bits of Malcolm X.
Sure.
And for better or worse, all the messy bits of the
violence, the anguish.
Well, not just that. I was going to say the Nation of Islam and some of the infidelities and whatever kind of came. They don't really pull the punches with that, which is really kind of brave because it's easy just to kind of paint a picture of like, well, everybody wants to see Malcolm X as the good guy, and to sit there and show him as that.
As a flawed hero, basically.
Yeah, and
extremely flawed.
All that being said, this is really tough. I'm going to lean Goodfellas, but I'll say this: I like Casino more than Goodfellas still to this day.
Sure, yeah, as mentioned.
Which I also need to retract a statement. Sharon Stone did not win an Oscar for Casino. She was
didn't?
nominated. Yeah, she got robbed on that one. 96.
Oh wow,
damn.
Yeah, I thought she did. She won. She won a Golden Globe, which usually is the indicator. And then
does she have an Oscar?
She was so good on that.
Damn.
Yeah, she deserves
Sharon
it.
Stone doesn't have an Oscar at all.
She should have got one for Catwoman alone.
Well, Basic Instinct, but they never even nominated her for that because she did something you're not supposed to do at that time. But here nor there. I'm gonna lean Goodfellas, and I can get into it if I need to explain it. If I need to start arguing the point,
You're not going to have to. I think Goodfellas is just ever so slightly going to edge out Malcolm X, but that's a tough call. I mean,
is.
like it's a real mental coin flip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn that. Good point on bringing up Spike Lee, though. It's a disservice to talk about the 90s and not because even I was too young to watch his films, but I knew exactly who he was.
Oh, sure.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
And that's where he, like, was doing his, like, he had come out and he was doing
his
his
seminal
stuff
work,
and-
basically.
Yeah, exactly.
so
I don't mean come out like out of the closet. I mean, he came out and was a force, a
Yes.
tour de force.
right. Good point. All right. So that being
Not that there's anything wrong with coming out of the closet.
Just keep
Just
digging.
gonna plow ahead.
Just keep
Just gonna plow ahead here. Okay, we are gonna move across the bracket to bracket number 2 in the top right corner. For those playing along at home, Silence of the Lambs tore the face off a hook. I'll just leave it on that. And then we had Addams Family, which we had a very heated debate about the movie that it beat out, Natural Born Killers, and my personal feeling of it being overrated and it kind of falling in line with True Romance, and I still kind of think they're the same movie. But the Addams Family beat out. By the way, they were both pretty much written by Tarantino, and then Oliver Stone just took it. Right. But anyways, but Natural Born Killers lost out to the Addams Family. So in our first matchup, we have Silence of the Lambs versus the Addams Family, and I see my father shaking his head to the right. So why don't you start us off there, Pops?
That movie scared the hell out of me, Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Addams Family.
Yeah, no, Adam's Family did not scare me, but Silence
With
of
a
the
little
Lambs
hand,
did.
it was creepy as fuck,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Silence of the Lambs scared me, but honestly, it's brilliant. I don't know, man. Just Anthony Hopkins he was only on screen, like, he wasn't on screen that long, and
His
he
total on-screen
stole
time
the
is
mo-
like
yeah.
18 minutes,
Yeah,
22
and he
minutes. something
stole
like
the
that.
movie. Just he was brilliant, but also Jodie Foster when she's down there in the dungeon and looking around and just panicking. I mean, that is edge of your seat stuff, and it will be shown in 50, 100 years. It'll still be being shown on whatever method they use to show movies, implanted in your brain as a chip, and it's brilliant. And it scared me so much and I hated it so much that I've tried to watch it again because I know how important of a movie it really is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a big step for you
But
because
I'm
you do not
scared.
do
I'm
you don't
scared.
do horror movies
I'm
at all.
scared, man. It scares me. All the lights have to be on.
Is it like the
middle
viscera?
of the
Is it the blood and guts? Is it
It's
the
not
gore?
the blood
Is it
because
the,
it's
is it
really
the
not
tension?
a blood and guts. There's not a bunch of blood and guts.
There's some pretty bloody where he strings the guard up. And
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about that's pretty horrific. There, that is where he. Yeah, that's true. Where he basically face offs the guard.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Keep that
Yeah.
pin in there because we're going to talk about it later.
Yeah. But anyway, that was really the really most of it's implied, like gruesomeness and just kind of like the specter of fear just hangs over that entire movie, and I just
Spectre of fear hangs over that entire
I like that.
movie. That was well said. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I resonated.
Well,
There it is.
there's
That's why he gets,
there's
why he
my
gets paid.
English minor coming into work
right.
there.
Even
So-
bigger.
Get that tattooed on my butt cheek.
All right. Now can I talk about the Addams Family and how
Yes,
much
you
that
can.
matters? All right. Now if you're what you've been watching Legion, then you know our feelings on the Addams Family, and that movie. First off, that movie rules. Secondly, as somebody who used to, and I've told the story on here a bunch, so I'll tell the abridged version. As somebody who used to stay up and watch Nick at Night back in the day when they played I Love Lucy, I never was really with the Munsters that much, but Addams Family was and still is my shit. And I would watch it on Freevee or Tubi or whatever. And so I would dare to say that in terms of comic strips, yes, but Addams Family is one of the best comic movies of all time. Barry Sonnenfeld knocks the tone out of the park. All the performances are great. Shout out, rest in peace to Raul Julia. And Addams Family, I can't get enough of it. It is so good to the source material. That being said, it breaks my heart. I have to vote Silence of the Lambs.
I mean, I'm not going to waste your time. I just ditto on all of that. I think that Addams Family, in terms of the set design and the costuming and all that, is even the lighting. Like, I love how when Morticia moves throughout the house, she's always in shadow except for her eyes. There's always this band of light on her eyes, no matter how she moves through the house, and it's this really, really great old school filmmaking, production style. But Silence of the Lambs, I mean, Jonathan Demme is firing on all cylinders on this movie.
Totally.
Well, we won't hammer the point home anymore then. Addams Family, unfortunately.
We've skinned that cat
Yeah.
or that body.
All right, we ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right, Silence of the Lambs, moving on. In our next matchup, I just to peel the scab as it's just now starting to heal from the last recording. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles beats out the 5 seed Unforgiven.
That's the one in my preliminary remarks. That was one of the ones I was talking about. That you guys, we've got to undo this injustice that was.
Well,
done.
you'd be wrong, sir.
I'm not. No matter what, I'm not. I don't care what. You haven't even said what Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I like the other one better.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Casting his blind vote
Yep.
I do
for Showgirls.
Yep. I know that didn't make it, but
For Scream. There we go. I will say this. I do respect the fact that when you do seed this, you got to not try to play the game of what you want the outcome to be. You just have to seed them as accurately as you can. So I respect the fact that you put it up against Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But anyways, it lost. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is going to take on Groundhog Day, which beat out Cuba Gooding Jr. Oscar-winning vehicle Jerry Maguire to get here. So we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Groundhog Day. M. Duddies, why don't you fire us up?
God, this is a real Sophie's choice.
really,
Really,
it's that.
I love both of
that
these movies.
meaningful.
I
Like
love.
it's one of your children versus another.
Yes.
Okay.
I think you said Sophie's choice.
Right. Which couch cushion do I sit on?
Oh, that. Well, I
Right.
would agree with that.
Right.
Barco manager for me.
I mean, geez. The costuming of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I mean, Jim Henson Productions. Come on, man. It's so good. It's so good. And it was such a nostalgic movie. And everybody and their sister, I mean this literally, every person I know went and saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when it came out. You could not escape this movie. It was so big. Groundhog's Day, however, is a great... I think that was Harold Ramis that did that? Yeah. Great Harold Ramis, Bill Murray vehicle. It's classic. I literally watch it every year. At least twice. I gotta edge it out and go Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I got to. It holds too high of a place in my heart to be denied.
I love the bias. I truly do. I truly do. Dad, why don't you go ahead?
I mean, I think it's cool that you guys like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles so much. It warms my heart to see you get fired up about a movie that, I remember you guys watching it, and I remember all the toys and all the swag that came with it, and just how much, I mean, you guys were all in on that. And I remember Marcus dressing up one Halloween for that, and I think you were Raphael? Or?
He got it correct.
Yeah,
He got it correct.
And, yeah, I mean, and you had to like the
he had
little...
a 1 in 4 chance. He just threw it out and was hoping for the best.
And you had like the little sword things and the whatever. What do they call those?
Sai.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I've got a lot of nostalgia for that movie, even though I just don't think that it was like an important movie. So,
Blasphemy.
But it's important to me because it was important to you all.
Sure.
So, but independently, that is not what I would. Yeah, wasn't my jam.
So you're going to go Groundhog's Day?
I think, and plus it's Groundhog Day, and that's another movie, and it's on. I'm going to watch it, and so it's brilliant. So,
Well, all right. So we got one Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, one Groundhog Day.
yep.
All right. Well, I'm about to lose half the audience on this one.
Uh-oh.
All right. This is going to be really painful because, again, I'm in the pickle of what do I think should win and what is closer to my heart. Mm-hmm. There's no question that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is my jam, and I'm going to be 1,000% honest, and this is probably where I'm going to lose half the audience. I really like Groundhog Day. I've never loved Groundhog's Day.
Oh,
Never.
okay.
Never. I appreciate it. I think it's a good movie. It's never... I liked other stuff at the time more than that. And
I feel that way about both you guys. I've always liked you, but I've never really learned to love you. So I get it. I mean, that's an easy,
So
I can't wait to put you in an old folks home. Oh, it's going to be so good. I'm getting a coupon voucher on this one.
a Groupon. You and
That's
Mom.
right.
Anyways, so yeah, but I do love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. All right, but here's the thing. I'm going to go Groundhog Day, but only because, and this is what we talked about last episode, the impact of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie was a result of the movement of the Turtles. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There was, the toy line had already hit, the comic book, it blasted through everything. It was like, it was everywhere.
It was the next logical progression in terms of, well, now we got to do a movie.
We have
already
to
done
cash.
Toys and cartoons and yada yada yada.
Continue to cash.
Right. But the
I get it.
Ninja Turtles, if we were to incorporate time on video, like, it was Ninja Turtles household through and through.
Sure.
So like that being said, that is the only reason, is because the movie was a product of the movement that already was. Mm-hmm. And so,
as opposed to set, it wasn't the forebear. It was
yes. But so that is the only reason. But which one would I rather watch any given day? Ninja Turtles all day. So,
but Groundhog
Day is going to move on.
I felt that you were going to vote that way, so I took a risk and voted for Ninja Turtles on the one hopes that I might be a little off.
Don't do that. That's how upsets happen.
You're off a lot, Michael. You don't really have to set yourself up for that. So
that's how we get Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance over Dark Knight.
Exactly. Yeah, you forgot you were dealing with Matthew. But there is a universe, like I said, in which Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles just went through. Because, again, whatever. All right, in our next matchup, we have Groundhog Day versus Teenage Mutant. All right.
No.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding. We've done that. We've done that joke once,
I
twice.
saw what you did there.
All right.
I saw what you did there.
I don't even know how to make a joke about this one, so I'm just going to say Schindler's List beat out Kevin McAllister in Home Alone, who, in our opinion here at What You Been Watching, with the same amount of prep time, Kevin McAllister would fuck Batman up.
In a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat.
If you give Kevin McAllister and Batman the exact same amount of prep time, Kevin McAllister's going to win.
Body Batman. But anyways.
Bury him in the backyard underneath his treehouse.
Next to Martha. All right, so Schindler's List beat out Home Alone, and we have Leon the Professional, or just the Professional, or just Leon, depending on what region of the world.
Right.
I mean, this one was it super squeaked it out as they went over the cliff. It beat out Thelma and Louise. Ooh. So we have Schindler's List versus Leon the Professional. I think, is it on me to start it up?
It is.
All right. This is the matchup I was dreading doing, to be 1,000% honest. I have a huge affinity for both of these movies. I like Schindler's List and watch it way more often than I probably should. Mm-hmm. And plus, it gives us the incomparable Liam Neeson's. But boy, if y'all knew how many times I've seen Leon the Professional, the uncut version, the deleted scenes, this is one of those movies that, like I've mentioned a million times on the podcast, when I was really into my Chappelle, which I wouldn't really call it a phase because I still am, when I was watching the Chappelle show, I would say ravenously. Mm-hmm. Leon the Professional was heavy in that rotation too, so that should give you an idea of how many times I've seen this movie. I really don't want to do this one. Like, I really don't. I think both of these deserve to go further into the tournament because
you must do it.
Okay. Damn. Come back to me. I got nothing. I just wanted to say how much I love both of these movies, and I really do. I want both of them. I think deserve to go further than the Sweet 16. So
yeah, the matchup. It's kind of like, I don't know.
They're so vastly different.
Yeah, it's like,
I'll go first. Okay. I've never seen Schindler's List. I've watched Leon the Professional about 12 to 16 dozen times. I'm going to vote Leon the Professional.
Okay, I'm Schindler's List all the way. I mean, it's just the story is astounding. It's heartbreaking. It's beautiful. It's moving. It's just all those things. I will say that it's not necessarily a 90s per se movie. I mean, it could be made in 2024, and in terms of, I know it's not set in the 90s,
right, but I mean, there's nothing about it that screams like
nothing that screams that screams that it was made in the 90s, but it was made in the 90s. Ergo, it's in this competition.
Sure,
and it just, I don't know, man. I don't see how you can not. It's brilliant filmmaking. You alluded to Sophie's Choice earlier. Same kind of movie in terms of just like heartache and the humanity behind it, and but I like my movies dark and meaningful, and I just do. I like them more like that. They're more real.
I heard
it was very real.
I heard it was a little too long though. The list, not the movie.
Well,
Those playing track at home, I'll let you check that bingo card.
Yeah,
So that was nice and worn.
Yeah, I don't.
All right, I got to be the deciding factor on this one. That's what I should have
Hey,
went
if
first.
Seinfeld can have jokes about Schindler's List, so can we.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, I'm a Seinfeld level comic.
Yeah,
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I mean, they did when Elaine
All
started
right.
giggling during the movie.
What the fuck is up with belts?
All right. Well,
Why did your dad hit you with them so hard?
man, I didn't want to be the deciding vote on this one. I love both
gotta-
of these movies.
You gotta man up.
Man. All right, dead air. Schindler's List, but I really don't want to make that vote. I really don't. I really don't.
Somewhere, Jean Reno just pulled the grenade and went, "This is
Oh,
for
the ring trick.
Matilda."
Man. Yeah, the ring trick. Gary Oldman's way overacting in that movie.
Everyone.
We've had some really weird matchups in this, and this is a really weird matchup. I mean, like some of these, it's kind of ridiculous to have to choose between.
This is why we're doing the
I
hard
know,
work.
I know. But Schindler's List against Leon the Professional seems almost like, are you kidding me? Or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles against...
anything?
Yeah, against anything to me. But no, you know what I mean? There's just some of these matchups
tough
that are
matchups.
like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
You know?
that's why we're doing the hard work,
Yeah.
Pops. All right, well, Schindler's List is going to move on, and I'll tell y'all my favorite scene as we move on because it's a really effed up scene, and I'm embarrassed that it's my favorite part of the movie. But we're gonna cross those bridges.
Tell us now.
Well, we'll cross
Okay,
those bridges.
all right,
It's got to move on, so we're gonna have to talk
We'll
about
burn
it.
that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah, man, golly. Anyways, yeah. Plowing ahead, we had Leaving Las Vegas, which I just watched again in preparation for this. Man, this is what I was going to say about Dad and his dark movies. You can go ahead and write this bold take down. White people, we love bummer movies. Just do. Give us our Hotel Rwandas. Give us all of that stuff.
That movie made me sad. It was amazing.
Yeah,
Give us-
Afflicted. Yeah,
All of that.
I could go on. Yeah,
We
yeah.
love our bummer movies.
Yeah.
So, but
I
anyway.
do in particular. I'm definitely on those. That's what's the darker. I wanna feel like I've been punched in the face by a movie.
You must love Requiem for a Dream.
We've talked about that. I did love Requiem for a Dream.
Anyways.
It was horrible, but it was. I mean, it's a great movie, but it's just humanity at its like woo.
But yeah, I did watch Leaving Las Vegas, even though it got beat out by Clueless. But man, that was a bummer movie. Elizabeth Shue and Nick Cage are phenomenal in that
yeah,
film.
they are.
And that was a tough one to sell, but
Yeah.
Clueless just embodies the 90s so much. But Clueless beat out Leaving Las Vegas. And
Did it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was just prepped up to talk about Leaving Las Vegas.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
Son of a bitch.
It left. We left him
Hey!
In Las Vegas. Ben died at the end of that movie. And this is the matchup that also pissed me off, but I'll forgive y'all. The Sandlot lost to Lion King, which that matchup should have never happened.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Some of those
Yeah,
matchups are like,
yeah,
which
yeah.
finger do you like more?
Yeah,
You
but
know?
anyways, The Lion King versus Clueless. So, Michael, you want to start us off, or I think it's your turn?
Yeah.
There's some order to this.
Again, this is another, like you said, this is a choice between what do I want to win versus what should win. To me, Clueless, I can't even tell you how many times I watched that movie just because, I mean, in high school I tended to hang out with a lot more, girls and the more female set, just whatever. So I saw that movie. I couldn't even tell you at how many sleepovers and getting my hair braided and fingernails painted and all that shit. And it's a great movie. It really is. I mean, it's campy as hell, but it hits the right amount of preteen angst and sort of ties into the whole vernacular and the zeitgeist of the Valley Girl. But it's also a Shakespearean tale, so there's fairly decent storytelling in that. I mean, it's completely all but unrecognizable as a Shakespeare tale, but still the roots of it are there. Ah, man. Plus, I had such a crush on Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that was...
She's quintessentially 90s, too. I mean, Clueless is one of those movies that
it was the Valley Girl for my generation.
Yeah, it was.
It
was a '90s movie all the way. I mean, it was absolutely set in the '90s, filmed in the '90s, and when you think of the '90s,
yeah, I mean, it had cameos from the Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, or no, it was Monty Monty Boss Tones, and
who you loved. We saw them at Swanee. Remember?
Yeah, we got on stage with them. Yeah,
I was freaking out looking for you guys. And I'm like,
right.
oh, there they are up on stage.
It's all right. We're just living a rock star lifestyle. It's all good. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one to beat, man.
Gotta pull the trigger.
I'm gonna give it to Clueless, but just barely. I mean, I'll let you guys sing the virtues of Lion King because I kind of feel that's the way it's gonna go. But
one of us hasn't seen it.
Oh,
I've never seen it.
Well, then never mind.
No.
I've never seen it. I've never seen the whole thing. It's been on. I've seen parts of it, but I've never sat down and watched front to back, reel to reel on it. And so everybody tells me I should.
You should.
But you know me. If somebody tells me I should, I typically don't. So I'm going with Clueless just because.
Oh wow.
Okay. Or I could not vote.
No, that's not an option.
That's
because I think we're about to have a split decision here.
No, I mean you already voted Clueless, right?
Yeah, but I'm so wavering on it that I mean I could be convinced. Like if you,
I mean, it's first. I'll just say these words, and I rarely pull this.
Hakuna
Matata.
You see what just happened there? It was a real Timon and
I am
Pumbaa.
my father's son. All right.
No, my argument was going to be much more succinct. It's going to be "fuck you, Lion King rules."
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is a card that you're allowed to play here at the What's Been Watching
That's just
discussion
like
table.
Hakuna Matata.
Kind
It's
of.
the same. It's kind of the same philosophy.
Yeah. No,
It's problem free. It's
I think The Lion King is in my opinion, one of the best Disney films of all time. It's a movement, man. And
I mean, it was the pinnacle of the Disney Renaissance with like Aladdin, Little Mermaid, like Beauty and the Beast, and then they did Lion King, and it was like, oh, fucking.
yeah, it was the culmination of them like, oh yeah, we're back, and it kind of faltered after that. So to me, it was kind of a swan song. I guess Aladdin was kind of there too, but Lion King, the story's moving. All the performances are great. You get Cheech Marin, Whoopi Goldberg, Ed. Ooh, say it again. It's really quotable. You get Jeremy Irons as Scar, who's
Which is
just
great. I forgot about Jeremy Irons.
He's incredible as Scar.
Mufasa.
And also you talk about quintessential '90s. We're talking about Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Mr. Home Improvement.
That's right.
Mr. Home Improvement himself, Mr. Huck Finn himself.
I got my first kiss at that movie.
Well, Huck Finn.
Yeah.
There you go. See.
No, Lion King. She was 6. No.
So I got to go Lion King personally. I think it's a masterpiece.
I'll watch it and then I'll amend my opinion later, but it'd be a little late for this competition. So
You may have convinced me on this one. As much as I love Clueless, I'm going to have to change my vote. Unprecedented, I know, but I think
cool.
Lion King deserves to go over Clueless. Just whatever. It won Oscars and the soundtrack and whatever. Like the soundtrack of Clueless is quintessentially 90s, but the soundtrack of Lion King is undeniable. So
you know what makes Clueless not a '90s movie? The fact that Paul Rudd is in it and it looks the exact same.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't have an immortal in your film and claim it to be a '90s picture.
How does he was like 22 when he made that movie? Now he's what 50 and he still looks the exact same.
He does look a lot like.
I want to get some of the baby blood he's drinking.
This is what we talk about on What You've Been Watching. I want you to go stand up and then go look in the mirror. And then while you do that, pull out your phone and Google just an image of Paul Rudd.
Doesn't matter what era.
Now just go look in the mirror again and then go look back at Paul Rudd and realize we're not playing the same game as these people.
That's why Paul Rudd will always be in movies and you are working at gas stations.
Right. You say, Marcus, that's the same argument you made about Brad Pitt. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Now go look at Brad Pitt.
Repeat.
That's right.
Repeat the scientific process.
And the defense rests.
Right. All right, moving on. So Lion King's going to win out over Clueless. That was a much tougher battle.
Yeah, I mean,
that's fair. I mean, apparently, I'm missing something with Lion King, so I'll go check it out. But
Yeah. Also, I was a target audience, but that's a different thing.
Right.
All right, so we are going to move on to our bottom left. That's going to be our third bracket for those playing along at home. Oh, man, what can I say about this first movie? We have Pulp Fiction beat out the incomparable, the swan song of Billy Madison. Billy Madison got beat out by Pulp Fiction, and we had Austin Powers go up against You Want These Cheeseburgers and Menace to Society. So we got Pulp Fiction versus Menace to Society. And Dad, I think you start us off on this one.
Pulp Fiction all the way. It's one of my favorite movies ever. John Travolta was amazing in it. Ving Rhames was amazing in it. Bruce Willis, who I'm not even a big fan of, but that actually kind of turned the tide for me a little bit. I was like, wow, good for him. He nailed it. That little French girl, whatever her name was.
Right.
I want the pancakes.
Yeah. Boo boo. And Zed's dead, baby. Just amazing movie. It's kind of like, it's so Quentin Tarantino in that everything is so over the top in it. He stabs her in the heart with a big adrenaline needle. There's this, but I love the non-linear storytelling of it. I just think it's super clever. The characters are all just, it's like, I don't know, it's like you're walking down at the fair, and you just
like the promenade.
And you just grabbed a couple of random people and said, come be in this movie, and that was their background. So I love that movie. It's awesome. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we're going this way to me.
Sure.
All right. Man, I really fucks with Menace to Society.
Great movie too.
No,
I voted for it last time.
I think ultimately what Menace to Society represents is the boys in the hood, the juice,
New Jack City.
New Jack City. Yeah, it was like this whole renaissance of like black filmmakers and black stars coming out and like, hey, we have our own like Scorsese kind of picks and things of that nature. And I think to me, whether it be Boys in the Hood or Menace to Society, is like one of the most realistic takes of. That's also kind of why I like Friday. It's a much more comedic approach, but Ice Cube was like, I've had days just like Friday, minus the shootouts and stuff.
Right.
Like, you hear them up the street and stuff, but like
right.
just hanging out, whatever.
I was going to say that I always considered the Hughes brothers to be the Martin Scorseses of the black experience, sort of, in terms of just very similar cinematic styles, very prolonged storylines and character arcs that sort of take place over years, and you sort of see the character development. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. I'm glad you said it because I don't think it's going to move on. I unfortunately, I think just the style alone of Pulp Fiction, it is kind of one-on-one in terms of its own kind of flair and flavors and stuff like that. It's hard pressed to find another movie like Pulp Fiction.
Sure.
And there's certainly its influence on things like that, but like I had to give a shout out to Menace to Society, not just because I love that movie.
Yeah.
And I shout out to Lorenz Tate, as O-Dog. I love the whole braids twist that he rocked, the whole thing, and just the whole premise of just one bad day sets these kids apart for life. You think the one, what's his name? Omar Epps, I believe.
Yeah.
You think he's going to get out at the end, he just some dude that he got in a fight with comes back and shoots
just
him
some
up.
random,
just shoots him dead, boom, into the movie. You're like, what the hell? It's just groundbreaking to me. But again, Pulp Fiction it's a one seed for a reason. So
agreed.
I liked everything you said about Menace to Society. I agree.
Yeah.
It was actually a brilliant movie also, and really well done. And I did feel like just a glimpse into that segment of society. I wouldn't say the black culture because not every, it's clearly.
Well, but it clearly was
segment,
South Central LA.
segment, of South Central LA.
Yeah, I think these are two prolific filmmakers really Quentin Tarantino was just starting his career. I think the Hughes brothers may have had a little bit of momentum with Boys in the Hood, stuff like that. But essentially, it's two filmmakers at the start, or three filmmakers at the start of their career, but they're already both all firing on all cylinders. They've really hit their groove. I think that especially like with Quentin Tarantino, you had Reservoir Dogs, and you kind of got a glimpse of what he was about, but it was a little grunge. It was a little unpolished. It was a little rough around the edges. Pulp Fiction, he smoothed that into like a shiny gemstone. I think the Hughes brothers did the same thing between Menace to Society and Boys in the Hood. Really honed their skills and sharpened.
They didn't do Boys in the Hood. That was John Singleton.
I'm sorry.
No, they did Dead Presidents.
That's it.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry.
It's another dope movie.
Yeah, it's another dope movie.
I like that one too.
Matter of fact, change my vote. No.
Dead Presidents was a great movie.
Yeah. That also had Chris
Tucker.
Tucker. That's right. But yeah, I think really when you get down to it, quintessential 90s directors, you have to talk about Quentin Tarantino. I mean, again, we talk about the whole indie filmmaking spirit and just how it revolutionized the game in terms of these guys just going off and making the movies that they wanted to do. As much as Kevin Smith did that, Quentin Tarantino perfected it. So
I'm glad that that Pulp Fiction came out when it did, because I think that Quentin Tarantino has become almost predictable in his movie making now. A lot of it's like formulaic kind of stuff.
Sure.
It doesn't make them bad movies necessarily, but I know I can expect a lot of craziness, a lot of, like, what the hell was that kind of thing.
Well, but I have porn stars with the same experience. Doesn't mean I'm not going to jerk off to them.
I'm going to share that sentiment, and we'll dive into that, I'm sure, because I've shared.
I don't plan to dive into that.
No, I mean the Pulp Fiction thing, the
gotcha.
Quentin Tarantino repetitive. I've talked about it on the podcast pretty openly. So, all right, well, Pulp Fiction's moving on. Big shout out to Menace Society, the Hughes brothers.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So next up, The Matrix beat out Dazed and Confused. The importance of The Matrix, I think I said something along the lines of it was influenced by the 90s and inspired the 2000s or something like that.
Yes.
The Matrix did?
Something like that.
And Dazed and Confused ultimately got voted out because we're like, it doesn't really feel like a 90s movie. It feels like a 70s movie.
Yeah.
Point being, The Matrix moved on, and Dances with Wolves, and actually what was closer than I expected, beat out Desperado.
Ooh.
The Robert Rodriguez film. So in this one, we have vastly different films in The Matrix and Dances with Wolves. And I think it's on Michael to start us up.
I'll start that one off.
Or maybe it's on me, but...
I mean, to me... Listen, the impact of Dances with Wolves can't be denied. It's a phenomenal movie. It's well-directed. Kevin Costner, I think this might have been his directorial debut.
I think so, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's a strong punch to come with.
He wrote most of it. He directed most all of it. I mean, he was pretty...
Very hands-on.
He did not mail it in, that's for sure.
No. And to be a debut film like that and to just come out swinging and knock it out of the park, I mean, that, like, you can't deny that.
They learned the language of the Indian tribes, of the Native American tribes.
It was very respectful in terms of trying to be, culturally accurate and good representation of
accurate, baby. You know where I'm at on that.
And then we have a white person save the day. Let's calm down a little.
Turns out all you need is white guns, and then it'll solve all your problems.
Yeah. Anyway.
But no, I think that although
there's a lot of historical accuracy to that, but
there is.
Also in The Matrix. I just think that when it comes down to it, the cultural impact of The Matrix, although it came out in 1999, that's really one of the genre-defining movies of the 90s, and not even the 90s into today. I mean, that set the standard for action movies for decades to come. I mean, everybody after that wanted to do like, well, how do we do our version of The Matrix? Dance with Wolves, I don't think there were too many people being like, we need it. Maybe James Cameron.
And Michael Mann.
And Michael Mann.
Mohicans. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I think, didn't Last of the Mohicans come out before that?
I don't know.
It might have been a year before. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I see your point. Yes. But The Matrix defined action movies for generations, whereas Dance with Wolves defined historical drama movies for a couple of years at best. So I think I'm going to have to give it to The Matrix just based on how far-reaching it was. And also the soundtrack. And also Keanu Reeves. And also all the things we've already talked about.
It's on you.
So I liked The Matrix. I think that it was... I don't disagree with some of what you're saying in terms of that it was definitely a touchstone for quite a while in terms of, like, people say, oh, The Matrix, and kind of everybody knew when you mentioned The Matrix, kind of everybody knew. Even if you hadn't seen the movie, you kind of knew what it was about. You've seen enough about it. So it was a huge pop culture phenomenon, if you will. But you know me. I'm a Western guy.
Sure. Yes, he is.
It was that movie again. It was historically accurate. It was beautiful filmmaking. The cinematography was astounding. The acting was astounding.
What was the woman's name in that? That was
Standing Bear.
Stands with a Fist.
Stands with a Fist. Right.
What was the actress's name? That was
I don't remember. I'm not. I have a hard time.
God, she was in Battlestar Galactica. I can't think of it. Not Mary Stuart Masterson. Fuck. Anyway, she gets the underrated performance of that movie because she stood out.
I like how Michael shoehorned in an underrated performance of the week into an episode where we're not talking about movies. Well done, sir. We're staying on brand.
I everything you said about The Matrix, I understand. I wouldn't argue against any of it. I just think that
not your flavor of Kool-Aid.
Right, just not my flavor of Kool-Aid. I mean, I liked it. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
I didn't think 2, 3, 4, 9, 6, 7, whatever, all those other ones needed to be made. I thought The Matrix was fine on its own. And even that was a little bit kind of, you do a lot of suspending of reality in that. So, that's kind of what they were asking me to do. But, so you went into it knowing that. But, I don't know. I think you knew ahead of time I'd probably vote for Dances with Wolves.
I figured,
because of the... It's, Westerns and historically accurate and with a message that, a positive message and mostly positive message, or at least a heavy message, a meaningful message.
Sure.
So here's what the debate comes down to is, does Dad's love of Westerns outweigh my love for Keanu Reeves? Nope. I'm going to ask you the question, Pops. What do you think?
I think not.
Okay.
Like I said, I was pretty sure where I knew where this vote was going.
No, it's no disrespect to Dances with Wolves, and I know little brother Bootsy, shout out to you, buddy, for listening. I know he's turning over right now because he is a huge Kevin Costner fan, and it's no disrespect to Dances with Wolves. The impact of The Matrix is just... I can't state enough, which I've talked about this movie too many times, so I'm just going to move ahead.
Yeah, but again, it's fair. I mean, I get your. I honestly believe here again. We've had a couple others of these where maturity and sophistication over callow, just childish,
One of my
the French champagne, excellent sophistication.
Yes,
brought to you by Hibbets and Bottle.
Just saying.
Michael, one of my favorite parts of the podcast is when Michael's he'll kind of get on some shit or whatever, and he'll be like, it's a certain je ne sais quoi, and I look at him like, word. And really, in my mind, when I describe the movie, I'm like, when he kicked that motherfucker in the chest, and he was like, pooh, I was like, yeah. I try not to do that on the podcast, but that's what I wanted to do with The Matrix. Just
we got a real Boondocks thing going on. We're like, you're Riley, and I'm Huey.
Very much so. No, again, this is one where I think Dances with Wolves deserves to go further. It's a tough matchup. So that's just what it is.
So. I'm not as upset as that over this one as I am
Unforgiven,
which I just
the
still
best
can't
picture
believe.
winning Unforgiven.
Right.
Anyways, plowing ahead. This is another one that's probably going to piss you off. Apollo 13 lost out to The Crow.
Goddamn right.
And this
is another one when I talked. Note to the listeners out there when I said that we had some damage to undo. This was one of the pieces I was talking about because that's just preposterous. Are you kidding me?
I gave Apollo 13 a lot of love. Let the record say we're not here to live in the past. We're here to solve for the future. So
it's 90's movies.
I know.
We're clearly here to live in the past.
We're progressing forward. We're doing this for future generations, Pops. All right, so The Crow beat out Apollo 13, which I showed a lot of love, and this one was one that pained Michael and I. We had the Francis Ford Coppola, or Coppola, however you say his name, Carpesi, I'm not sure. Nick Cage's uncle.
Right.
Yeah.
Coppola.
Bram Stoker's Dracula beat out another Keanu Reeves film, who's made, I think, his second, maybe third appearance on here, in The Devil's Advocate.
Oh.
So in this matchup, we have The Crow versus Bram Stoker's Dracula. And I've said Strokers for so many years.
Stokers.
I know, and I'm saying that's why I made an attempt to say it now correctly.
It depends on what you're into. It could be
It could be Bram Stoker's. I'd watch Bram Stoker's.
I think they have that movie,
I'm
actually.
sure they do.
Yeah.
Michael, this one is on you to fire us up, I think.
So it's Dracula versus
The Crow.
The Crow. Okay. See, this is the problem with this one is a great adaptation of a previous story, and one I feel is quintessentially 90s. I feel that especially the Brandon Lee version of The Crow was so much set in the 90s between the soundtrack, the look, the aesthetics, the camera. I mean, there's parts where it literally looks like an MTV music video, you know, and I'm talking like MTV at the height of music video popularity. I kind of feel that you could have made the Dracula movie as easily in 1992, I think it was, or 91 maybe.
I think 4, but whatever.
Okay, but you could have made that movie just as easily then as you could now with the same aesthetic, and it wouldn't be a it wouldn't scream the 90s. It wouldn't define the 90s. I think that The Crow is going to go ahead because it is such a 90s movie. You cannot separate the look and feel and soundtrack and casting of that movie without separating it from being in the 90s. So my vote is going to be for The Crow.
I agree wholeheartedly.
For real?
I do. I totally do. I absolutely do. Yeah. I mean, Dracula was good. I loved it. I've only seen The Crow once. I remember seeing it. I know you guys liked it a lot. When I say I've only seen it once, I only sat down and watched it one time, front to back. Right. I've seen it a bunch of other times while it was on while you guys were watching it. But
piecemeal.
I didn't. What's that?
Like piecemeal.
Yeah, pieces at a time. So probably in all those different piecemeal times, I've seen it another 2 or 3 times.
Sure.
Just enough of it each time to know. And I think it's quintessentially 90s. I do. I have to go with that. Yeah, I have to think.
I know that pains you.
No, I just think the opening of, I mean, I'm not mad about The Crow going ahead. I get every reason you just said. A big shout out to Brandon Lee. I mean, rest in peace. It is the 90s through and through. Which actually, quick trivia. You know who finished The Crow?
Who finished
Who finished playing Brandon Lee in that?
Oh, I do actually. It's his stunt double who went on to be Keanu Reeves' stunt double who went on to direct John Wick, right?
10 points to Gryffindor.
Wow.
1,000, yeah, Chad Stelsky. Yeah.
I did not know.
Yeah, or Stelsky, however you say his name. Yeah.
I knew that Brandon Lee was not able to finish the movie.
Yeah, pretty tragic. It was
Yeah.
It kind of a similar situation to what happened with Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
It happened to him.
Gun.
Yeah.
See, guns do kill people. Not just people that kill just people.
Careless guns kill people.
Well, guns kill people.
But yeah, no, I just think I love the cold open to Dracula is incredible. So I just want to say
Agreed.
Yeah.
But
It's
again,
awesome.
it's my favorite love story of all time.
It comes down to, again, for me, which one is more 90s, and The Crow is...
You got it. You don't got to.
Yeah,
It's
that's
moving
how
ahead.
I felt about it.
All right.
It is quintessentially 90s.
So there was a lot of good matchups that came before this. We had a 7-seed American Beauty, which beat out the 10-seed Train Spotting, and that was a really tough, close call there.
I remember that.
And then we had so American Beauty moved on there, and then we had My Cousin Vinny, which I said at the time, I said a lot of people are going to be pissed off that didn't move on. Lost out to The Big Lebowski. So this is another one that somebody's going home. We have The Big Lebowski versus American Beauty.
If you're going to lose out to anything in the 90s, I think Big Lebowski would be the one to lose out to. That's going to be my vote. It's such a quintessentially 90s movie. It's not only a movie made in the 90s, but it's set in the earlier 90s. And I mean, you just talk about such a referential movie. How many people quote the dude on a daily basis, and how memorable and offbeat, like the entire film was. It's essentially a detective noir story, but it's set in the 90s, and Jeff Bridges is just this bumbling detective who fails upwards and bumblefucks his way into success. I would say that I think the soundtrack for the or for the Big Lebowski is a little. I would say that the soundtrack for the Big Lebowski is a little bit anachronistic. It does tend to push a little bit more 70s and 80s. It doesn't necessarily have a 90s soundtrack, but I mean, it's the Coen brothers at their best. You can't beat that one. So it's going to be Big Lebowski for me.
All right, Pops, what you got to say on it?
So I loved American Beauty. It was, again, a really cool movie with Kevin Spacey, and just the idea of the guy tired of, as someone who's looking at retirement now and it's coming up on me, I get like his total, just like why
Right.
did I spend my time doing all this work, and just like, and society kind of poops on him a little bit, and he hastens his retirement with some bad decision making.
What's that in the garage? It's a 1986 Ford Thunderbird. It's a car I've always wanted, and now I own it.
Yeah.
I rule.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, it's just like, yeah, he's. I love the anger. I love the angst. I love just all the. I mean, everything that happened in that movie is very plausible. You read about it.
Sure.
If you spend a day at Leon County Courthouse at the divorce court, you're gonna like see tons of that stuff happening. So it's like totally real. Like, you know.
I love when he's working the drive-through and he got the job because he was like, I want the job with the least amount of responsibility.
Right, exactly. Right,
and then his wife rolls up with the dude she's having an affair with, and she's like, let's talk about this at home. And he's like, no. You don't get to tell me what to do anymore.
Exactly. I'm here. I'm working. Yeah.
He's like, have a nice day. Your order.
That's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
And he plays it so cool.
It's so brilliant. But having said all that, I mean, if American Beauty were paired against anything but Big Lebowski, I would vote American Beauty every time.
Yeah.
But I would. I just love that movie.
Agreed.
And it's made by an FSU graduate. So
that is right. Damn,
American
points.
Beauty is an FSU
Oh,
student.
yeah, that's
absolutely.
right.
Yeah. So shout out on that. But I have to go. I just have to back up and really like root myself in. The dude abides. He just.
I get it.
The
Say
dude
no more.
abides. Say no more.
I'm going Big Lebowski too, but
Ooh, a sweep.
yeah, and just real quick on American Beauty, love the movie. I will say this: it does drag a little bit. Some of the plot lines that I don't necessarily care about as much drag it down a little bit. It sticks the landing though so well, but whatever.
And the soundtrack in that movie was pretty good too. In American Beauty, it was a good soundtrack.
Not as good as Big Lebowski, but
a different type of movie.
Sure.
But I mean, for that movie, it was brilliant. It was really So
too many shots of Wes Bentley filming a fucking plastic bag.
Yeah, it drags a little bit, but
Yeah.
here nor there. Big Lebowski's moving on. We're gonna finish out our bottom bracket, the bottom right one, bracket number 4, and then we're gonna take a break.
Sure.
All right, so let's do this. Without further ado, Forrest Gump beat out a personal Dudley household favorite in Half Baked to move on.
Oh, really?
Yep, it sure did.
Can we re-vote on that?
Nah, too late.
God damn it.
It's already in history, Michael. And then we had the battle of what it is, the rentals of Movie Gallery. We had Starship Troopers beat out Stargate.
Damn.
So we
I
have-
actually feel worse about that one than I did Forrest Gump and Half Baked.
So we have Forrest Gump taking on Starship Troopers. I think it's on you to start us up, Pops.
Forrest Gump.
Save it for later as you're
Save it
going
for
to
later.
need the arguments.
It's a brilliant movie. I love the way they
Is that Bobby Zemeckis?
It is Bobby Zemeckis.
that
He's a wall of fame.
incorporates all these things, and it all looks. It's like faux serendipity kind of thing, but it's actually, it just, I don't know, it just kind of, it's cool. I know the movie bugs a lot of people. They're like, it's too happenstance and too blah, 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 blah. But it was really a clever way to weave, like, the history of that time period into this poor guy's life, and he just kind of, keep talking about, you mentioned the term falling upwards before.
Right,
but Forrest Gump just keeps falling upwards. I mean, and Bubba Gump and Lieutenant Dan. I mean, he was brilliant in that role, man. That was just an amazing.
Gary Sinise.
Sinise,
yeah.
Oh, I thought it was
Yeah.
Sinise.
He's brilliant.
I've never
He's
actually
brilliant.
said that word loud.
He's brilliant in a lot of stuff he does. Gary Sinise is, but yeah, I'm Forrest Gump all the way. Team Forrest.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to say this. Starship Troopers is the best B movie of all time.
Yes.
And you can fight me on that.
Yes.
And it's so campy if you lean into it's a satire of all war films ever.
But it's brilliant.
And propaganda and all this shit of being like, fight for your... And it's a faraway planet with bugs that, like... It's a brilliant movie, and I had a crush on every single person in that cast, male and female, for many years of my life, and still probably do. So Rico's Roughnecks, I'm sorry to vote you out, but I got to go Forrest Gump.
Well, I'm glad you guys mentioned bugs, because I'm going to vote for Starship Troopers, because that movie is so brilliantly subtle. It's like Fight Club in terms of...
I don't think it's subtle at all, but go ahead.
No, well, but in terms of, there's definitely people that worship that movie as like, yes, this is how society should be, and and like they miss the entire point. It's so subtle.
Gotcha.
It's so subtle that like it's lost on the wandering minds that don't realize they're being made fun of.
Oh, the alpha bros that are like, Starship Troopers fucking rules.
Yes,
Which,
yes.
There's nothing wrong with liking that movie for those levels because it works on that level too.
But I think it's criminally underrated in its genius. So I think Forrest Gump is a little bit heavy-handed. It's a little bit ham-fisted. So as a writer, I'm going to vote for Starship Troopers. It's not going to make it, but only because I think that it's a little bit more clever writing. Which, go figure that Paul Verhoeven would outright Robert Zemeckis, but go ahead.
Yeah. Big shout out to that one, though. Starship Troopers was an important part of my childhood. So
Plus co-ed showers.
Look, man, it's whatever. Look, you're not going to hear me say anything bad about Starship Troopers, so I just got to move ahead. So.
I think when you said it's a really good B movie, that's a really good description.
I think it's the best B movie of all time, to be honest. With you.
I don't know. I liked
Evil Dead's pretty good too, but
I liked Harold and Kumar.
That's a good B movie.
Yeah, that's a good
I
B
can see
movie.
that,
Yeah,
sure.
either way,
Yeah.
which also has Neil Patrick Harris in it as well.
Yeah.
Both of them do. So, all right, moving ahead, we have this was a really tough one actually, and I know it probably upset a lot of people. Terminator 2 lost out to 007 James Bond GoldenEye.
Did it really?
Yes, it did.
Oh,
And
shit.
Pretty Woman lost out to, shout out to Paul Daniel, or Paul PD of 3.5 Giraffes. Got his JP on Jurassic Park. So we have Jurassic Park versus GoldenEye. I can just start this off.
Go ahead.
I'll just make it quick. It is no disrespect to GoldenEye. It's the fact that it spawned a video game, and that video game was one of the high, like, and again, like I was saying, the flip side of the Ninja Turtles thing, the movie spawned the game.
Yes.
And the pause menu for that game, what Michael was just summing that was jamming. It was, everyone played that. But man, it's got to be Jurassic Park, man. Watching that dinosaur's eye dilate still holds up to this day.
I will also go ahead and give it Jurassic Park just because, again, we talked about Stan Winston and his animatronics. I mean, that was the height of that. That was the perfect blending and culmination of CGI effects and practical effects to the point where you can't tell the difference. Steven Spielberg is amazing. I actually read the book right before the movie came out, and so it was at this beautiful point where I was, again, really trying to appreciate cinema, and I wanted to get the reference material, so I devoured the book like 2 weeks before the movie came out.
We're about to hit our talking about books quota.
Was there pictures in it? Don't talk about that shit.
All right, you know how we keeps it here at What You've Been Watching. I'm joking, by the way, but yeah.
But yeah, I think that, again, when you talk about 90s movies, Jurassic Park is a quintessential 90s movie. It set the standard for so many years to come, and the impact that it had can't be denied. Everybody went to go see this movie. It spawned how many sequels that have admittedly
unnecessary sequels.
Yeah, they've had diminishing returns, but I mean, there's a reason why they invested so much money into those sequels, is because they're trying to recapture just a fraction of what the initial impact was, which was global. Yeah. So I'm going to give it to Jurassic Park.
So I too read Jurassic Park, and I thought the movie was a terrible rendition of the book. They changed a lot of important things. They moved some stuff around. So, however,
but they did the same thing with The Shining.
Well, I didn't read that book, so I can't relate to that. I can't talk about that. I can only talk about the I love GoldenEye. I'm a big James Bond fan. You know that, and I think that GoldenEye, that particular one, the Bond brand was kind of going south. Down. It was going south, sure. And this GoldenEye totally repumped life into it.
Was
it Pierce Brosnan or Timothy Dalton?
Timothy Dalton was before him, right?
Yeah, so it was Pierce. Was it Pierce Brosnan in GoldenEye? Yeah.
Yes. And Timothy Dalton was before him. Yeah. So okay.
I thought Timothy Dalton was not a great Bond. I thought he never shaved his hair on his neck. If you have that much money and you're trying to dress up fancy, it's like having no shoe polish on your shoes. Like like you're supposed to play the whole part,
Man.
like dive in.
Burt Reynolds and Tom Selleck would have something to say about that.
Guarantee you they shaved their necks. Guarantee you
Either
that
way.
somebody was shaving their necks, making them look right.
Back when men were men.
But GoldenEye, great movie. But I fully expected to vote for GoldenEye until I think you guys have made pretty compelling arguments about like it was a new type of movie. It was like, you know, the idea of like, wow, bringing dinosaurs back to life. And it was a cool adventure. I'd still watch it now if it was on TV. I still think it's interesting.
Yeah.
And the Newman character being such a fuck up, and the dinosaur, the guy's taking a poop, and the dinosaur like reaches in and eats him at the end of the movie. And just, I don't know, there's some funny, like, sarcastic kind of inside joke kind of humors to it. And
like, I would argue,
and Laura Dern's in that, right?
Yeah.
Isn't she? Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Like, I would argue that GoldenEye revolutionized the Bond franchise, whereas Jurassic Park revolutionized sci-fi movies as we know it.
No, I wouldn't say that far. No.
In terms of technical aspects and production value and sort of, like I said, blending the CGI and the practical effects, yes.
I'm more inclined to agree with Michael on this one, and on that note, I will say that GoldenEye is a great James Bond movie, and while I got to hear Pops, I want to take the time. We brought it up on the podcast before, but you can corroborate. We would go to Movie Gallery, and I remember we had never seen a James Bond movie, and we would rent usually like Godzilla or some nonsense, and you actually took the time, and this is why I don't remember specific James Bond movies. I remember certain parts like of His Majesty's Secret Service, with the ski opening and stuff like that. Yeah. But you actually took the time to show us. At the time, I think there was, I think GoldenEye was like the 19th or 18th. And so we watched all of them.
We did.
Yeah. All of them. And you made it a point to do that. And I want to thank you for that personally, because James Bond was like kind of our thing collectively for a long time.
I felt like good. I'm glad you
It's like a good common ground of like, in a James Bond movie? Yeah. Which one haven't we seen?
I always wondered whether I thought maybe you felt like Clockwork Orange, where I was tying you up and keeping your eyeballs open, with the little
lovely Louis Van.
My little droogies.
No, but that was one that was always appreciated. And so GoldenEye is I think actually of all of them, I mean, I understand you're like saying it's in the top 30 percentile or 33 top third, but it's a top 10 Bond film for sure. I would probably say closer to the top 5. I could argue top 8, but
for sure
it's in the 25 percentile for sure.
That's how it deserved to be on the list
for sure.
But I think Jurassic Park. I agree with you.
It's just funny how like every time we literally would walk through like Movie Gallery and pick out like 5 Godzilla movies, and you'd be like, "Hey, James Bond on Her Majesty's Secret Service. You guys want to watch that?" We're like, "Yeah, we're gonna have a movie night."
Yeah, they were always fun. Every James Bond movie, he's running across the top of the alligators, or he's like,
was that Roger Moore?
Moore was
out
real
in space with the with
Jaws.
I mean, just all kinds of.
Where he fucking he picks the nerd girl, and they're like the space station's about to blow up, and they're like, "Well, here's to us."
Yeah, exactly.
They got real campy there.
They did. Yeah. They fortunately, Daniel Craig's been a great Bond, but I think so.
He has.
And,
so, question: who do you think should be the next Bond?
I don't know. If you remember right, I told you guys that,
I probably don't remember right.
Well, so before Daniel Craig became, Kelly and I had seen him in Layer Cake.
Yes.
And we were like, he would make a great James Bond, because I got her turned on to watching James Bond movie too, a friend of mine. And we said...
You did call it.
I remember that. We said, before we heard anything. And then, like...
Years later.
Yeah, like a year or two later, they're like, "Oh, guess it's the new James Bond." We're like, boom! How's that central casting? Bring that on.
There you go. So, who do you think? If you had creative control over James Bond, who would you cast right now?
Right now for James Bond.
Ooh, I can tell you my pick.
Okay, tell me your pick.
Craig Robinson.
Who?
Hot Tub Time Machine. This is the End.
I will watch anything with Craig Robinson.
I don't know.
Before we get too sidetracked, I would want to see somebody I've never seen as James Bond before. I don't want any attachment to the new James Bond.
So, like, completely new.
Yep.
Like, find the new it guy.
Yep.
Okay.
Find somebody that's been in TV or something like that hasn't quite crossed over to the States, because I want zero attachment to their James Bond.
Actually, real answer. Charlie Cox from Daredevil.
Oh, yeah, I can see that, yeah.
So, what's his name? Charlie Hunnam. I know he doesn't.
Charlie Hunnam.
He doesn't have a British accent. I don't think I think it's Australian accent, right?
No,
Isn't he Australian?
No, he's in the UK.
He's
UK?
Brummy. Yeah, he's Brummy.
I could see him being a James Bond.
Okay.
I mean, that clean him up. It'd be a different role for him.
Sure.
I think he'd be. He was. I think he's a good actor. He was really cool in
Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah. But I've seen him in some other stuff too that I think he's done a really cool job on. And
I think he would be a good James Bond in terms of the classic Albert R. Broccoli written James Bond, like the buzz cut and the clean shaven, with the dark blue eyes.
Yeah. That's to me. That's
Not a bad suggestion.
Yeah. I mean, just thinking out loud. You asked. I haven't thought about it. If you get a random text later in the night and some guy's name on it, it doesn't mean I'm fantasizing about somebody. It just means I might be, but it just also means that's who my suggestion for the new James Bond is. Because I hadn't thought about it, so I will start to think about it now.
There you go. All right. Well, we got 2 more to do, and then we'll break. But I'm glad we got to share a little bit of James Bond story, so we can share the movie proper reverence.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I feel like it got its fair.
A fair shake.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Anyway, so we are going to plow ahead. We got a movie which we talked about. It's kind of a niche or niche, however you want to pronounce it. We had Princess Mononoke lose out to Good Will Hunting, which I had seen just recently, and we had Tombstone beat out The Rock, which was like a true Sophie's choice for Michael.
So it's Tombstone versus Princess Mononoke?
No. It is Tombstone versus Good Will Hunting. Oh, Princess Mononoke lost out. So yeah, Tombstone versus Good Will Hunting. And I can tell you my answer.
Okay.
I just watched Good Will Hunting for the first time. In its entirety, like you were saying,
Sure,
I had piecemeal parts of it I had seen. Especially now with social media, you'll get some clip from some movie. You're like, oh, yeah, Robin Williams sitting on the bench. Like when he talks about like, I could ask you about love, and you would just quote some sonnet, like kind of kiddo, you ain't.
But you
done
can't tell me. I could ask you about art. You could tell me about the history of the Mona Lisa, but you can't tell me what it smells like in the Louvre.
Right. Yeah. And so I'm trying to do this without any recency bias or anything like that. Again, this is a movie that I'm going to say, I've mentioned it earlier. I really, really like Tombstone. I do not love Tombstone. I love Val Kilmer's performance in Tombstone. And I think, to be honest, and I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but if you're a listener of the podcast, you know we like to repeat ourselves. I think it's a lot like Heath Ledger as The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is filled with a lot of plot holes and a lot of things that are just kind of like... But his performance is so good.
You can overlook all that.
Yeah, you're like, it's so good that if this is the way I get to Heath Ledger as the Joker, I'll deal with whatever the hell I got to deal with.
Sure.
And that's me with Tombstone, which is weird because it has an all-star lineup cast. Bill Pullman and Sam Elliott. It's a real who's who. It's got Billy Bob Thornton in the beginning. It's got everybody.
Right.
But I'm going to go Tombstone on this one. And I think Good Will Hunting truly is an incredible film. And I think Ben Affleck and Matt Damon truly deserve the Oscar for best screenplay on that one, hands down. Gus Van Sant crushed it.
Sure.
He did a lot of odd shots. There's a lot of weird close-ups when they're talking in the bed where all you see is like just the girl's like top half of her face or the lower half, and really some choice shots in there. But I'm gonna go Tombstone simply for Doc Holliday, simply for Val Kilmer. I think it is that good, and that's not a knock. I know that's saying, what about the Oscar-winning performance of Robin Williams?
Sure.
I get it, but Val Kilmer is that dude. It's Jack Sparrow. It's Jack Sparrow. Like Pirates of the Caribbean is a C movie, but when you add Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow, it's like, holy shit, this movie is vastly entertaining now. It's resting completely on the shoulders of this guy. That to me is Tombstone. So that's all I got on that.
Interesting.
Allow me to add a counterpoint. I think that Tombstone, as good as everybody is in that movie, I mean, you have, Val Kilmer,
Kevin Costner.
No, not Kevin Costner.
Yeah, he's in it, isn't he?
No, that's Wyatt.
You're talking about Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell, yes, sorry. Yes, Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell, I mean, Powers Booth.
Bill Paxton or Pullman.
Bill Pullman. I mean,
Sam Elliott.
As good as that movie is, definitely Val Kilmer is the one to watch. My problem is it a good movie, or does the performance carry the weight of the movie on his back? And to me, I think that there's a clear definition between a great performance and a good movie, in as much as good as everybody else is in Tombstone, Val Kilmer's the one to watch. Maybe too much so. I think that Good Will Hunting might be a better structured movie. It might be a little bit more well put together. It's a lot more slow burn, which is weird because Tombstone is also a slow burn, but the culmination of Good Will Hunting, when he finally decides to leave and chase the girl, and Ben Affleck has that great scene where he comes and shows up at the door and he sends the letter to Robin Williams, and the dude's like, son of a bitch stole my line.
Yeah.
I think that Good Will Hunting might just edge out Tombstone, but again, if you ask me which one I want to watch right now, I want to watch Tombstone, but specifically for Val Kilmer. Whereas if I want to watch a more emotionally cathartic movie, it's going to be Good Will Hunting.
I think that's really well stated. It's a Western.
We already know which way you're going.
All right. No, you'd be surprised, but it's a great Western. It's not in my top 25 Westerns, but it's maybe 26.
Not
so it's
25
or 26.
Really?
But there's so many good Western movies out there. I mean, there's just so many. I'm a expert in this, and I would say, it's maybe 26. It's in the top 30, but it's not in the top 25. But I agree with you. Val Kilmer's performance is in the top 10.
Sure. Yeah.
But the movie itself is not in the top 30.
Okay.
So I totally 1,000% agree with you. And I think the movie it's a really good depiction of it. I think it's a really good depiction of what happened.
Is it historically accurate?
No, there's so many different versions of what happened that it's really hard to tell what really did happen. They say that, it's actually, the whole gunfight lasted like 45 seconds or something. Sure. It was not this big, long, drawn out. So
I'm flanking their position and all that stuff. It was bang, 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 bang.
They basically, two pissed off groups went up.
Through a bunch of lead.
Yeah, it'd be like, somebody pushing you out of line, and right now you're like, hey, bitch, what's up? And they pop you, and then you pop them and draw weapons and shoot. That's pretty much the way it went down. So
like high school.
Yeah, pretty much. The way I was in high school, right? Other than the guns, the punching and stuff. But anyway, so I'm going to go with Good Will Hunting. But I do think that Tombstone, it's a great movie, and if you haven't watched Tombstone, it's definitely worth watching. And it's hard for me to vote against a Western like that and a darn good Western. But I just think that I'm going to go with Good Will Hunting.
Fair enough. That's all I got. I mean, I've said all I wanted to say is the Val Kilmer Award that we give out here.
There's a reason.
Val Kilmer, So, anyways, but I'm not mad about Good Will Hunting moving on. Though I get it. All right. So our final matchup before we break: Fight Club went up against Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and Fight Club lost out.
Nice.
It was in backcountry, and then Blade in its phenomenal sequence opening and what launched the comic book film as we know it, lost out to The Usual Suspects. So in this matchup, we have Fear and Loathing versus The Usual Suspects.
Care to open?
I think this is a number 1 versus a number 16. You got a play-in team with. I think you got a play-in team with Fear and Loathing, and I think it's a good movie. It's. I read the book. I thought the book was way better. I thought the movie was just kind of, I don't know. I got a better sense of what happened from the book than I did the movie. The movie, it was fun, but I don't think it was earth-shattering or defining in any way. But I would have to say that,
Okay, so your opening argument is to shit on Fear and Loathing and speak nothing of The Usual Suspects.
Well, The Usual Suspects. Well,
I'm joking.
I mean, I said it was a 1 versus 16.
Yeah.
Usual Suspects is a number 1. Usual Suspects. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. The actors, other than the Baldwin brother,
he's fine in that.
Nah, he's a loser.
he's fine in it. He's not.
He's a loser.
Yeah.
All
right. Well,
I mean, think about it. They're in the lineup and they're having him read just the, just the little sentence, and I mean,
He flip you for real.
What's that?
That's Benicio del Toro. He flip you for real.
Yeah, and they're like, speak English. Yeah, I freaking know. Like he just had, but they asked him to read the line about
give me the keys,
give me the keys,
right.
you mother, whatever, and
You filthy
they're
cocksucker.
all making their own. I don't know. It's just a brilliant movie. And then when he starts to walk away and he's limping and he goes from the limp to all
Spoilers.
of a sudden he's just scooching away who's that? Who's the Andy Garcia's the cop? Is that
Chaz Palminteri.
Chaz Palminteri? Sorry, yeah. They look alike. Sorry.
Yeah, they look so much alike.
Dark hair, eyes, lips, nose.
a little bit,
Kind of human. They all look like humans. Chaz,
They all look human.
Chaz Palminteri. Right, my bad. Just when he has that aha moment, I just think it's a brilliant movie. So, Usual Suspects.
I'll say this, and some people are going to be very mad at me. There was a phase when I was in high school when I think it was I bought the Criterion collection, but everyone was all on like Fear and Loathing, and they wouldn't let it go. It's like everyone I know held it on high. I was like, it is the most amazing, and it was really just because everyone just started to smoke weed for the first time. So they're just
Right.
and so like
Gonzo.
yeah, it's pure, yeah. And I think they liked it for the wrong reasons. I have seen that movie a lot of times, and I genuinely appreciate Fear and Loathing a lot. And I will say this, I just watched The Usual Suspects, again, after forming this list. It is a really good movie, and I will not take it away from it. It moves really quickly. The pacing of it works really well. Just when you think it's going to drag, they bring it back to him. There's some discovery, and he goes, shit. And the framing device of Kevin Spacey doesn't really make a lot of sense. And I'll only say this, and I know that it comes from a Key and Peele joke, but I always kind of thought this way, where it's Key and Peele are reenacting The Usual Suspects, and he's being interrogated, and he's like looking around the room. He's like, it was Lamp that did it. Lamp Brown Shoe was his name. And so when you really kind of zoom out on The Usual Suspects, and he's making this really intricate story off the top of his head, filling in the gaps with shit around the room, it's kind of fucking stupid. And I'm not saying it's creative when you first get it, when it first unfolds, but if you zoom out, it's kind of fucking stupid, in my personal opinion. And so that's the only thing I will say of like, yes, the first time you watch that movie, it's really tight and it works really well. But like after I watched it just recently, I was like, kind of
contrite.
It's kind of like I get that sometimes the most obvious thing is in the fact that he just pieces it together as he's looking around Chaz, and he's like, orca fat. Oh, like there's no way. Like if he's such a good detective, how did his bullshit meter not go off to it? And he was harassing him because he was, and I guess they kind of frame it in the sense of like, oh, he's so convinced that it's Gabriel Byrne's character, the crooked ex-cop.
Right.
He won't accept it for what it is. So I get it.
It's the bias. It's the
But then you can't retroactively go, hey, fuck you, audience. He actually really is a good detective, and he figures it out just 2 seconds too late. It's like that's the only part in terms of the movie that's kind of, again, it works the first time, but it's kind of bullshit if you think about it with a wider lens.
Yeah, for me it works every time. I like it. So.
And I won't vote against Johnny Depp, and that's no disrespect, so I got to go Fear and Loathing. And Benicio as well. So
yeah, I'm gonna vote for Fear and Loathing just because, again, I think that as good as The Usual Suspects is, it is diminishing returns, and also just Terry Gilliam just has such this wild style. Like you never know what to expect next in this movie.
That's
like
brilliant.
Agreed. That's why I'm voting for Terry Gilliam. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just. It's literally a drug-fueled bender in the wildest place on Earth during the most tumultuous time in Earth's history. And so you never know what you're going to get. You never know what to expect. You see these wild diversions of distractions. Like he's there to report on this desert race, and then ends up writing this whole essay about the downfall of America after the 60s, and the visuals of just the projector images of bombs falling and the rollback of the 60s, the needle drops. It's so different than anything that had been seen before it. And I got to vote for Fear and Loathing. So that's where I'm going to go.
All right, again, not taken away from the usual suspects.
No, not at all.
A little bit, yeah, I am. I just watched it recently, so maybe the recency bias was a little bit. I remember this movie being better.
Yeah,
whatever. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break from our sponsor, Peanuts.
For those who can, do. For those who can't, don't.
We'll be right back. And we are back from our sponsor, Peanuts. There's a lot you can do with them.
Mash them, boil them, roast them, bake them, butter them, put them up your nose, or just eat them shits dry, unsalted at a baseball game.
Granddaddy used to eat them about a handful raw.
That's right. I do love boiled peanuts, though.
Yeah, no shit.
We're a southern thing.
Boiled peanuts for sure.
Phenom.
The dried ones, I always feel like I gotta pick my teeth afterwards. Pretty
because you
heavy,
do.
So
I made, when I was still in the Coast Guard living in California, I made boiled peanuts for my entire department. Literally like a huge cast iron pot full of them. They took 2 bites out and were like, these are disgusting. This is gross. This is the worst thing ever. I was like, these are pretty fucking good, dude. I did a pretty bang up good job on these peanuts.
Yeah.
Not too mushy, not too hard. Perfect al dente.
I don't know. We can't appreciate it. But, we can appreciate is we're moving on to our, what is this? This is 32. We're into the Sweet 16 right now.
we are sweet.
Trademarks. We're into the
Superior
sweetness.
the greater than or equal to 15.
That's right. The double eights.
Anyways. So we're going to go back to our top left bracket. And this is where we're going to try to bring the heat in terms of if you got something that you think you need to say for it to move on, let it be said now. But some tough matchups. All right. Let's just get it going, right? Everybody ready? And
Let's do it.
I was born ready.
I like to hear it. In our top left bracket, we have the matchup of Shawshank Redemption
Oof.
going up against Saving Private Ryan.
Oh my god.
Oof. Maron.
Yeah.
This is a tough one. This is why we do the hard work for you people out there. It might have taken longer to go through the round of 64 into 32, but this is why we do it.
I thought those would be in the final 4, but the way we matched them up, sometimes you just Duke and North Carolina got to play each other at some point to figure out who goes on. Yep,
That's it.
Yep. Well, I guess if nobody wants to say first, I'm leaning initially towards Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily know all the reasons why. I just feel like I think Shawshank Redemption is a better movie and deserves to go on. And I don't necessarily know the points to that. It's just my first initial reaction. So,
Yeah, let's see. Saving Private Ryan was Steven Spielberg, and Shawshank Redemption was what? Darabont?
I think so. The same guy that did Green Mile, right?
Yeah, Frank Darabont, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
I gotta say, I think that overall Shawshank Redemption it's a little bit more of a full character study in terms of, you're watching Andy Dufresne go through, it in a weird, sick way, it's sort of a coming of age story. Like he's transitioning into this new life. He's becoming the man that, not that he was supposed to be, but the man that he's required to be to get through this situation. For all the really weird stuff that happens in there, and there's some horrible tragedies, it's kind of a heartwarming story of, friendship and sort of gallows humor and looking the worst situation in the eye and just going, yeah, I still can make it. But the same could be said about Saving Private Ryan, though. Whereas I think that Saving Private Ryan, although it is a character study, it doesn't focus so much on any particular character as much as it does the group dynamic, and we watch the group grow and change and sort of, how different deaths affect each individual, within that dynamic. So that's a tough call. I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards... Oh, man. I think I'm going to lean towards Saving Private Ryan. Just because I think Shawshank Redemption is a little bit slower paced. It's a little bit more of a thinker piece. Whereas...
It's a long con.
It is.
Decades long
It is.
con.
Yeah. Whereas I think Saving Private Ryan is a little bit more direct in the storytelling aspect. It's a little bit more punchy in the script writing. I think the ending's a little lackluster. I'll go ahead and put that out. It's a little bit overhanded, I think.
Do you mean like the final scene of Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah.
When he's growing, or you mean when he's shooting the tank with his pistol?
Both. But more so, like, at that point, it's sort of already been put into the audience's head of, like, what is the value of one man, and then to have him, like, literally say it so succinctly to the camera is just like, all right, it's a little bit more than a wink and a nudge at the audience, I think.
I'm inclined to agree with your last statement, only in the sense of they set it up in the beginning.
Right.
It's a little bit Titanic-like in that sense of like, we set it up in the beginning, but given the title, Saving Private Ryan,
right,
whatever. But anyways, what are your thoughts there, Pops?
So I'm going to use a word from Shawshank Redemption to basically kind of blow up the idea that Shawshank Redemption is the better movie. I think Saving Private Ryan, any arguments that Shawshank Redemption is better is, I would say, obviously you're being obtuse. And for those that don't know what that means annoyingly insensitive, or in this instance, slow to understand. And so I would say that you are being slow to understand that the whole point of Private Ryan, Saving Private Ryan, was that he had to ask that question at the end. Yes, it was because a lot of the audience is also obtuse. And so they had to put it out there. And the question that he's been struggling with his entire life is, was I worth it? Did I measure up for all that happened? All those guys that lost their lives, the question had to be asked. He lived with that question his entire life. He's there at the field where his comrades are buried. Mm-hmm. And he's been wondering about that his entire life. And he had to ask the question. There's no way he couldn't. To not ask it would be a terrible ending to the movie. He had to ask it. And so I think that I love Shawshank Redemption. I will watch it every time it's on TV. But the same can be said for Saving Private Ryan. But I think Saving Private Ryan, for me, I've never experienced, and you know me, I watch a lot of war movies and cowboy movies, and there's a lot of similarities.
This might be a little bit of your bias showing through, because I was going to say you are pretty partial to war movies. And I am.
I love them, but honestly, I've never ducked like I did in any other war. I mean, I honestly felt like the way that was filmed from the perspective of the guys getting off the boat, and just the sheer serendipity of you're standing there and suddenly the guy next to you's face gets blown off,
right?
And you're able to run, and they keep like, well, we lost so and so, and those were all, by the end, the easy come. They were all like really good soldiers, like the best you could be, pretty much, and they were still getting killed. Sure. And I love Shawshank Redemption. I think that it was an amazing. The use of the term the long con. That's actually that's a really cool.
Because he was a convict. You see what I'm
saying? Well, but it was also a con.
He was in for a long time.
But it was also a con. Like the whole time,
you're not going to break me here no matter what.
Yeah,
I'm going to get out, even if it's a day before I'm out.
Right, he's sucking up and he's doing what he needs to do, and it was a brilliant performance by Tim Robbins, and really everyone in the movie. I mean, there wasn't a bad actor in the movie or a bad performance in the movie, but I just think Saving Private Ryan,
honestly, I wish we could redo the bracket so that we could, because I fully expected these both to be in the final four. I did. I know we can't do that. We can't rewrite the brackets now. But given that, I gotta go with Saving Private Ryan all the way.
What do you think this is? The BCS?
It's yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, all your play up to now didn't matter. So here's what we think is going to happen. So anyway, Saving Private Ryan to me, it's brilliant. It's one of the best movies, not only of the 90s, but I think in 100 years people will still be talking about Saving Private Ryan as as part of a war movie canon. It is canonical.
Okay.
There's
that canon with two ends or one end?
Yes. It's supposed to be the one end, but I get your pun there with the whole,
like the camera company.
Sorry, I didn't mean to step on that joke. That was funny.
So like the camera company. But anyways, I don't think there's a wrong answer here. You convinced me. I'm fine with Saving Private Ryan going ahead. The opening sequence is great. I like the dialogue of Shawshank better, though. But
I mean, you can vote for Shawshank just to give it at least one representation.
It's all good.
It should earn at least one vote this far in.
No.
Yeah. Honestly, I agree with that. I did that recently on one of our previous picks to get. You guys voted one way and I voted the other, just because that movie deserved. I think it was Princess
Mononoke.
Princess Mononoke. Yep.
I voted for that just because
one.
We can't leave that unvoted for.
Right.
So
it's all good. It's all good. Saving Private Ryan. Surprisingly, I thought the same thing, but beats out Shawshank Redemption.
Dude, it's like
there's no wrong answer.
1A,
there's no
1B. Yeah,
there's no
exactly.
wrong answer.
Andy Dufresne crawled through a river of shit 500 feet long.
Yeah.
And got caught.
All right, so in our next matchup, we have Toy Story versus Goodfellas.
What an odd matchup.
That is
what a very odd matchup. All right. So, Michael, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I mean, as much as I love Toy Story, it's run its course. If it was against any other kids movie of the 90s, it might stand a chance, but not against Goodfellas. I mean, it's a cinematic masterpiece, and it can't compare. You're literally comparing, apples to apple seeds.
Or apples to race cars, really.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Or, yeah. I was trying to think of something that was thematic.
You're comparing
stars.
You're comparing apples to kids' toys.
Yeah, rockets to mafia.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Toy Story. There's an argument that it is the better movie, and I honestly believe
it's a wrong argument.
No, I'm just saying there's an argument out there for it, and it has some valid points to it in the sense of. And I rarely pull this, but box office numbers alone, it's
sure.
There's a reason why it spun a, I get you can't really do Goodfellas like that, but I don't know. I guess it's hard for me in the sense of by the time I saw Goodfellas, I had seen other movies that had, for lack of a better word, imitated Goodfellas.
Sure.
And when the time I saw Toy Story, I had seen nothing like Toy Story in my life. And so by the time, and I understand it doesn't work that way, but by the time I had seen Goodfellas, it was all right, we're doing a modern, even then, The Godfather had been out. I had seen The Godfather before that, but it was a more modern take on it, and I understand that this was...
A Bronx Tale.
Yeah, and so it was within a certain style of that point, and for whatever reason, it was the Scorsese style kind of picked up after that, and not that he wasn't popular before that, but for that, the 90s generation, that was hey, yeah, I can still do it in this era, too. But, I mean... It's tough, though. I still think Casino's the better movie, and I will fight that tooth and nail.
I agree with you on that.
Because I think they go out like some gangsters in Casino, and Ray Liotta rolls everybody. But
spoilers.
Yeah, whatever. So I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna give it to Goodfellas only for one reason, though, and it's
Joe Pesci.
He's better in Casino. He crawled in Goodfellas so he could soar in Casino. No, it's for the sequence when they come into the restaurant and they pick up the table, and that is a massive...
They walk through the back entrance and they walk through the kitchen and just the camera's following them. Yeah, that long tracking shot.
Yeah, and there's one other shot that I'm going to save for maybe possible rounds, but I really do think there's an argument that Toy Story has probably touched more lives and given more just worldwide popularity than Goodfellas could ever hope to.
Oh yeah,
ever hope to.
Yeah. You don't see Joe Pesci walking around doing his Goodfellas thing at Disney World.
I'm just saying, I think there's a massive amount of people that if you put the 2 DVDs on the table and said you get to watch one of these, I bet the majority of them take Toy Story.
It's probably true because, I mean, yeah, actually that's a pretty good point. I mean, there's Goodfellas requires a different level of watching. Like, like you got like Toy Story, you can watch and like sew buttons on your clothes while you're watching it, and like whatever you like to do while you're watching movies.
Well, that's not to say that there isn't a deeper message in Toy Story and it doesn't have layers, but
vastly dark Toy Story's message. Actually,
exactly.
What is the meaning of my life and my existence?
Right. It's existential crisis of what does it mean to be a man? What does it mean to be a toy?
I totally agree with you.
There is that, but yes, I do see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like with Goodfellas, you do have to go into the mindset of I have to sit down and pay attention to this.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Whereas Toy Story, yes, you do, but it's a little easier to follow. And that's not a knock on it.
Right.
I'm saying I'm validating Marcus. It's not that you need my validation.
I do.
But,
I've been searching for it for 37 years.
That's all I've ever wanted.
We can shut down the podcast now. We're good. Whatever wins, I'm the winner.
You hear that, Michael? He's proud of me. He does love me more.
If you're both voting for Goodfellas, then I'm going to vote Toy Story, but only because I, again, don't want it to not get a vote. But I came in with the concept of I was going to vote for Goodfellas, expecting that. I actually thought you guys were going to vote Toy Story, and I was going to get outvoted on this one. And I was just going to say how slow and ridiculously behind the times and pop culture you are, but
no, go watch.
So I don't have to say that anymore.
Oh, good.
All right. Well, we're gonna move on then. We're gonna move on. Goodfellas beats out Toy Story. We're gonna move right across the way there into our bracket in the top right corner. All right, y'all. This is getting real deal here. We have Silence of the Lambs going up against Groundhog Day.
Oh boy! Can I go get some Chianti? and some fava beans.
Ask me tomorrow.
After you get me out of the well.
That's right.
Again, I'll say what I said the other day just because it bears repeating. I really like Groundhog Day. I do not love Groundhog Day.
Okay. Little overrated, you think?
A little bit. No, not overrated. It's just it doesn't talk to me on the level I think some people it does. Like some people, it's their favorite movie, it's the funniest movie of all time. I don't see that. I get how people get there, but it's not my opinion. You know what I mean? Like I have a lot of respect for the film, and it's Bill Murray doing classic Bill Murray, but
for sure,
I really like it. That's that's high praise, but because I like to be hater ass Huey over here. But, so I don't know. And Silence of the Lambs, to me, it's just it's one of a kind. It's really, really tight. Not that Groundhog Day isn't, but it's really well shot. It keeps it moving. It keeps the interest going of who is this killer, and then by the end of it, it's not only who is this killer, but they shoehorn in a race against time. And It's one of the best. We always talk about like the Ellen Ripleys of the world and the Sarah Connors in terms of strong female leads.
For sure.
Jodie Foster's got to be on.
Clarice Starling is on that Mount Rushmore. For sure.
1,000%. Just because it's not because the men around her are dumb. She's just that much better than everybody.
Right. It's one of those not rare cases, but you hear people complaining about like, oh, the only reason she was so strong is because every other dude around her was a complete imbecile. Like, no, everybody around her is perfectly capable, maybe a little bit more egotistical. Maybe they're letting their prestige or their like what they think, their experience get in the way of learning the real truth, whereas she is sort of coming into this naive and fresh-eyed and trying to make a name for herself, so she's open to all avenues. But she's still very, very capable and very smart.
She kills a serial killer in the end by herself when they're off at a wrong house.
That was a terrifying, just that whole sequence of
absolutely terrifying.
Her being just out of arm's reach during the night vision scene, and like he's brushing her hair and like breathing heavy, and you're just like,
and the terror that she shows in it. I mean, you can act terrified, but she genuinely looked terrified. Like her acting was so good in that I felt like, did she know what the script called for in this? I mean, it was just a brilliant performance, like all the way around.
She's amazing.
And she is, I agree. And I don't think I've seen her in anything that I don't like her in. I may not love the movie necessarily, but she's always turned in a solid performance.
Yeah,
she's one of the best out there.
Her bad performances are far more than just serviceable.
Right.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly.
It's like Denzel we were talking about. We were like, yeah,
Right.
he becomes kind of Denzel and everything, but even at his at an idling speed, it's still miles above everybody else.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
So,
She's amazing. I wonder what it takes to impress her.
So I don't know. I know you're a big Groundhog Day fan though, right, Michael?
I am.
Was that a John Hinckley joke?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought so. It was so. You said it so subtly. I was just trying to make sure that I got that. So yes.
Now who's behind on pop culture references? Dick.
Well, yeah, I was up on it. I just wanted to make sure I got it.
Yeah, I am a huge Groundhog's Day fan. That movie just has such a quirkiness to it and such a charm. You talked about how Silence of the Lambs is a unique movie. I think the same could be said for Groundhog's Day. I mean, yes, there had been sort of time loop-ish movies done before. Time loop-ish.
Yep.
But not to the degree that this had been done
true.
before in terms of really exploring the world of a man trapped in a prison of a single day, and sort of he goes the whole range of emotions of, accepting it, having fun with it, being driven crazy by it, the crushing soul crushing realization that there's no escape, and essentially, yes, I can do whatever I want, and I'm a god, but I'm also trapped in this glass cage. And again, Bill Murray doing exactly what you want him to do, which is being very snarky. He's always playing, even when he's down or at his lowest, he's still playing the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah, no, I'm inclined to believe that, and you're right though in the sense of when people talk about time loop movies or anything like that, that's the one that gets brought up. It's like, it's like a Groundhog Day kind of thing. Right. Anytime you're in the time paradox films, which sadly or not sadly, but just has become a genre all in itself. Yeah.
It's one of those, like, if they do time travel movies, they're like, okay, is it Terminator rules? Is it Back to the Future rules? Is it Time Cop rules? They do the time loop thing.
Nobody asks if it's Time Cop rules.
Like if they do the time loop thing, it's like, oh, it's kind of like Groundhog's Day, except, it's the worst day of his life, or whatever. She dies repeatedly and she has to figure out how to progress each day in order to make, live just a little bit longer. Whatever. Like, this is the point of reference.
So what was the Tom Cruise movie that he kept dying and had to keep learning each day?
It was originally called Edge of Tomorrow, but then the tagline was Live, Die, Repeat, and so many people started calling it that they essentially just changed the name of the movie to that. So now when you look it up on like Netflix and stuff, it's Live, Die, Repeat.
Because that was basically like a futuristic Groundhog Day.
Did you ever watch that movie?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a really cool
Fantastic.
movie.
Emily
really
Blunt
cool.
is so good.
And just he dies instantly the first time, and then the next time he's like, okay, I can't step that way and it was awesome. But it's Groundhog Day movie. Mm-hmm. Just a cool take on it.
Yeah.
I'm like you, Marcus. I loved Groundhog Day, but I didn't love Groundhog Day. It's a great movie. I'd watch it for sure. I just recently watched it because Groundhog Day happened and it was on TV.
Here's the thing.
Some would suggest that Groundhog Day is happening every day.
Yeah.
So,
in my mind,
exactly.
Yes.
So, but I have to go with Silence of the Lambs. And you guys know how much that movie freaked me out.
Yeah.
That was the scariest movie I've ever seen.
Well established. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho, I do think that Silence of the Lambs is the better movie. I just wanted to rant about Groundhog's Day for a minute.
It's cool.
All right, I get it.
So the thing about Groundhog's Day is
repeating bits is what the thing about Groundhog. Anyways,
yeah,
I know it actually is exactly the whole point of this. Repeat this bit. All right, well, we're gonna move on. Silence of the Lambs beats out Groundhog Day, and our tone in movies is starting to show here when we read the next round. But,
no.
We have Schindler's List going up against The Lion King. And did you watch The Lion King yet, Dad? Did you do any homework on this?
I didn't. I haven't seen it yet.
I watched like 8 of these movies.
I will tonight.
Yeah, that's
I'll
not
watch
good.
it tonight.
I watched Schindler's List, but only the sex scenes.
You didn't watch any though.
No.
Anyways, yeah, Michael was supposed to do his homework too. So it comes down to me.
I just haven't had time.
Yeah, I get it. All right.
I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of Lion King all over the place. So I know that.
It's a masterpiece, man.
I am going to vote, just so we're clear, I am going to vote for Lion King. Not because I haven't seen Schindler's List, but only because, again, we bring up the whole thing of which of these two movies do you want to watch right now. It's going to be a Lion King 100 times just because, like, I don't want to be depressed and sad and, like, oh, now I don't feel good about humanity anymore. Like, I just wanted to sing songs and get a little high.
Something to be said for that. I went to, when I was in Amsterdam, people were lined up for like 10 blocks to go see Anne Frank's house. And I wanted to go up and go, hey, like, let me tell you how this ends. Like, not good. Like, not cool. I had zero interest. And Schindler's List is something that you have to prepare yourself for. Like,
Sure.
Getting a box of tissues. Yeah. Schindler's List is a heavy movie. I think it's without having seen Lion King from start to finish, I feel almost like I shouldn't vote just because I think it's not.
Well, he hasn't seen Schindler's List, so my opinion is going to have a lot to do on this one. No disrespect here.
That's okay.
As the wielder of the pen over here.
Yeah, no, I would defer. You can have my proxy.
No, you're good. This is another one there actually is no wrong answer because Lion King is a masterpiece. Mm-hmm. It just is. It is to me. I understand it came out. I was the target audience, but I think this is one of the movies that the lovely Angie was telling me. She's like, I was an adult and I went to go see that movie in theater like 3 times.
Tomoko did too. When I told her I hadn't seen it,
yeah.
She was like, "What?" Like she could not grasp the concept that I had not seen. Lion King.
Now, mind you, this is also peak Disney Renaissance, launched off with Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast and sort of culminated with Lion King as far as being like, behold what we can do. I
think it was too woke.
So yeah, no.
He's lying.
I am lying.
Michael's play on words here. Lion King is a masterpiece. Truly, the songs, all of them work. I never feel a lot of times they break into song, and it's like we're singing about. And I'm granted I don't write musicals, but sometimes the songs, while they may be entertaining, it's like this isn't something we need to sing about. It's superfluous, And Lion King, everything they sing about is on point. It is the best use of music, in my opinion, in a Disney movie. Not saying it's all the best songs. I think it's up there, but it's a really good movie, top to bottom, start to finish.
So drum roll.
No, hang on. I got to say some things about the other movie too. Schindler's List is so compelling to me, and there's 2 performances that I think is, and I've talked about him on the best villain role, but Eamon Goth, played by Ray Fiennes, however you pronounce his last name, Voldemort.
Him's is Fiennes.
Yeah. He's absolutely terrifying in that movie, and not in the sense of Silence of the Lambs. You're like, oh, I'm watching a story about a fictitious serial killer. Like, oh, this is real deal historical stuff. And watching him go through the motions of it's about power, and when Oskar Schindler goes to him and he's like, to pardon someone, that is true power, and from to walk around for a day as ultimately the people in the Jewish concentration camp are messing up, not to his standard or whatever, and he's like, I pardon you, because it makes him feel this godlike thing. And I said it then, there's nothing more frightening than a weak man who wields power,
right?
And especially life or death in the moment.
Yeah.
And so
I don't respect cops.
Well, there's sadly some truth to that in some aspects, but
I'm half joking.
Yeah. But yeah, his performance is incredible, and the incomparable Liam Neeson became the incomparable Liam Neeson.
Talking about Takenses?
Yes, sir. He is amazing in this movie. And there's one scene, and this is what I want to talk about. There's one scene in this movie that it is the pinnacle of effed updom, and for some reason I like it. And I'm just going to say these words. It's a trigger warning. I'm going to talk about a very effed up scene. So fast forward a little bit, and then we'll let you know. We'll timestamp when the victor of this is announced. All right.
Sure.
And we'll put it in the comments. But there's a scene where they are burning bodies of all the dead, all right? And it's massive graves, and they have like this giant conveyor belt. That's how many there are. And one of the Nazi officers turns to the pile and just lets his gun off in it a bunch of times and just screams to the camera. And that, to me, is one of the most frightening scenes I've ever seen, because the unbridled rage that you can feel in that moment for just another human being makes me sick to my stomach.
Sure.
Even talking about it makes me uncomfortable, truly.
I agree.
And I'm not big on horror movies. Like, I don't like jump scares. I really don't like it. I watched Hereditary with the lights on, and I still was looking behind me the other day.
So that's where
I don't really like, but that scene frightens me to this day.
Yeah.
And it's every time I see it, I feel genuinely uncomfortable. And the fact that I know it's fake, and I tell that into my brain all the time, and I can still elicit that same reaction every time, is just a testament to not only how effed up that time period was and the actions of those people. Let's just be real, the Nazi party.
Yep.
But a testament to the power of filmmaking and Steven Spielberg's raw ability, because there's not many directors that can do that.
That movie's, that whole time period, that whole era, the whole what was going on was just horrendous. And the idea that what you just talked about, the power piece, is there were so many people that were plugged into that sense of like, and the jolly, he's literally like, I pardon you. That was...
And then he changes his mind
suddenly.
suddenly.
Yeah. I mean, that, I agree with you. It was terrifying. And just the idea, but it's so, it's such a good splice of what was going on during that time period in terms of Mussolini and Hitler and all, just this pure raw power and the things that people stood up for when it was clearly against all sense of humanity and decency. Right. And what do they say, that the worst thing is not people doing bad things, it's good people standing around while bad people
failing
doing
to
bad
act.
things.
Evil triumphs when good men fail to act.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that movie displayed that, and you had a good man that was taking a lot of risks. I mean, and literally, he could have been killed for all that. So, and
you think he was taking a risky stance on the Holocaust?
Yeah. Just a little.
He even says, when they catch me, and they will, they're going to try me as a war criminal because I've made millions and millions of dollars off of slave labor. And they're going to try me as a war criminal. And he does. But because of the services he did, like the final scene in the end where he's like, this car, that's 3 more people. This pin I'm wearing, this is another person right there.
That could have bought someone 3 days.
Yeah, and it's so sad. And this is what I get caught up with day to day. And I've talked this a little bit existential real quick. But like me, just... Unfortunately, I often feel, whether it be my position in life, is all monetary. And not to those that love me. Like, I know you guys wouldn't trade me for whatever, but... there's a number. It's negotiations at a certain point.
How much are we talking?
A year in Tahiti? Bye, Marcus.
I know, right? But my larger point is just in the sense
You're going to give me a free fish sandwich?
Yeah. In the larger sense of just, like, feeling that, a corporation only looks at you of, like, you're worth this much to us in healthcare, and it's like, and this is peanuts compared to how when you're looking at the actual cost of a human life. So I can't imagine the burden of that as a man. The corporation's faceless; they don't really give a shit.
Right.
This guy can directly do something. So it's
can literally put a value on human life,
and
for sure.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
So what are you voting for?
Man, okay. I just had to talk about. So
good discussion.
Time mark this, if you don't mind, and all that being said. I gotta go with The Lion King, and I really do, and it's messed up because I like Schindler's List way more than I probably should, and I watch it at times I probably shouldn't, but again, I sometimes search for. There's very few movies like I talk about, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Soloist. When a movie can transport me somewhere, it's a rare breed, but I do believe just impact of the 90s, impact on Disney, everything it was. I think The Lion King's got to go ahead. It's a Disney masterpiece. It's a Disney masterpiece, and Disney's got a thick catalog. So
that's right.
So that was not easy.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I just can't wait to be king.
Right.
I respect that. I wish I had watched it so that I would have a compelling argument against it, but I got nothing.
They're vastly different, but we're getting to the territory of there's no wrong answer.
Right.
So.
Right.
All right, we're going to go down to our bottom left then, and these are two contenders for reals. We have Pulp Fiction going up against The Matrix. And I just did a bunch of bumping my gums, so I'm going to let one of you gentlemen go first.
Care to kick us off here?
Pulp Fiction for me. I mean, I liked The Matrix. I thought it was a cool movie. It was certainly innovative. It was creative. It was cool. There's a whole genre. Like if you see an action movie now and it does anything like The Matrix, you're like, oh, it was like in The Matrix where he's dodging the bullets and, So, I mean, it is a touchstone movie, but I still think I don't know. It's just not the same. It's just,
okay.
I don't know. I think they actually, it's one of the, they did a pretty good job. We've always talked about this before, about movies do this long explanation of something when all they have to do is say, well, we're doing this because it will help us jump the time continuum.
Sure.
And instead they take an hour.
We need to accomplish A in order to accomplish B, C, D, F, G.
Right. And I thought The Matrix did a pretty good job of that overall, of just trying to make it like they dummied it down enough that you could follow, even if you're not totally in. I mean, certainly there were questions because, I mean, at the end you're like, well, I don't know why that, but I while I liked The Matrix, Pulp Fiction to me that's another one. In 100 years, people will still be watching Pulp Fiction.
Sure.
And probably will be watching The Matrix too. Not to discount it, but I just think Pulp Fiction was I don't know. It was, and I mean, I'm not necessarily a huge Quentin Tarantino fan. I think that this was probably, this may be blasphemous to you, but this was his peak in my opinion.
Okay.
He did everything right in that movie.
I've heard other people make that same argument, so I don't think you're necessarily wrong. I think it's sort of, where do you set the dividing line in terms of his career and his storytelling ability? Sure, I hear that.
I love the non-linear nature of it.
Sure.
It bounces around, but it still completely makes sense. Like, you can follow it even though it's not linear at all. It's,
Marcus, any thoughts?
I did a lot of talking. You want to go ahead, or?
Just a counterpoint when you talked about how Pulp Fiction was a singular point of the 90s. I think that Pulp Fiction is, as far as 90s movies go, it's pretty hard to beat. Like, that movie could only be made, exist within that time frame of the 1990s. 100%.
Yep.
I do, however, think that The Matrix, like you said, became a touchstone in terms of every action movie that came after that for probably almost 2 decades
Still, I think,
was very much like, well, it's like The Matrix, but, or we're going to do The Matrix, but with this spin on it, or, well, we kind of rewrote The Matrix to make it, whatever, the John Wick of it all, the Fast and the Furious of it all, the whatever. As much as I love Pulp Fiction, and again, that is a quintessential 90s movie. Quintessential, yeah. I do think that The Matrix had not only a more far-reaching impact, but it also drew on resources from further in the past. Like, essentially, The Matrix drew on all the 80s anime, all the action stars of the 80s, the Chinese and Asian wire work in terms of just the martial arts and stuff like that, and sort of cutting down and perfecting what may be one of the greatest action films ever made. And you also throw in the idea of this alternate world of reality is not what you really know it to be. We are the makers of our own reality. There's this whole religious undertone of, Neo being, sort of the anachronistic Jesus Christ, as it were.
Yeah, messianic.
Yeah, this messianic prophetic figure. So I'm gonna go with, and not only that, but it also redefined the technology of the time. Like when they shot bullet time, they literally had to invent the technology in order to make it work. They had to completely build from the ground up a camera system and a cinematography system in order to make it work. And that counts for a lot. I think that Quentin Tarantino drew from a lot of previous sources, but was it groundbreaking? Maybe not as much as The Matrix was. Maybe not. So I'm going to give it to The Matrix.
Damn. All right. Well, you both said some amazing points, and I think it's weird in the fact of they're both Touchstone films, even though they're made by Miramax. That's a little inside joke for y'all. Yeah, but no, I mean, The Matrix changed the genre in the sense of it is the touch point for everything. Like, you don't get to Inception. I think on the back of the Inception DVD it says, "Not since The Matrix has there been a mind-bending sci-fi like." So I mean, it is that, and then also you'll see that a lot of movies, which we'll probably talk about in a little bit. Not since Pulp Fiction has there been like it's, sure. And so they both actually opened doors, and a lot of movies and directors owe a lot to these films. And they both are of their time. Again, I don't think the dark trench coats and things of that nature, and that doesn't exist.
You couldn't do that.
Nobody's dressing like that. It'd be tight jeans and like, you know what I mean? Somebody with poofy Patrick Mahomes hair. Like, whoa, that's what's cool. Quentin Tarantino got really lucky in the sense of what he was into, what he was trying to make cool, became cool.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, Quentin Tarantino was a very, like, you can tell he's a really quirky dude. He has a lot of niche interests and stuff like that.
Sure.
And that movie kind of made those things cool in a weird way.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, y'all know my love for The Matrix. I'm going to give it to Pulp Fiction.
Ooh!
Even though I like The Matrix more. I think The Matrix as a film, just what it did, just in terms of technology, I'm a big dork for stuff like that. That was the only time I ever gave a shit about, like, what are they transferring on the DVD to? Like, what are they, like, what aspect ratio? What aspect ratio are they using? What's coming with that? And that's, nobody gave a shit about stuff like that. Like, let's be real. Nobody did. And so that's crazy, you know, but I think a lot of that, unfortunately, bled into the 2000s. So I'm going to give it to Pulp Fiction, and there's a point I could make later because I'm going to have to argue some things either for or against this movie, but this pains me. I love The Matrix with every fiber of my being, but I'm going to give it a Pulp Fiction. So,
no.
Wow. That was a good round. I mean,
again,
that game went into overtime, man.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. All right. Well, moving
bullet
on.
Time.
There you go. Moving on, we have in our bottom, we have The Crow going up against The Big Lebowski.
Why don't you start us off, because you've had the deciding vote on the last couple of ones. So,
real quick, I love The Crow. I think your point earlier, I'm not trying to rehash what was said, but when you brought up The Crow is like epitome 90s. You know, it's like the whole feel of it all, and especially they just the other day dropped some first looks at the new Crow movie. I don't want to judge too harshly, but I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but they're changing the tone of it.
Oh, I want to judge harshly.
Yeah, well, that's a different podcast. But they're certainly not going with the tone and feel of this one, at least in terms of the character design and things of that nature. So that is a testament to this. But man, The Big Lebowski is, again, this is probably one of those movies that not since Pulp Fiction have you seen, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure Pulp Fiction got Big Lebowski helped to be made, you know, in a weird way.
I could see that, yeah. I could see that progression of time, yeah.
I'm going to lean. Cool factor is always The Crow, just in terms of that, but there's also a real coolness about the dude. He's just. He has what does they say? The only thing that can beat big dick energy is not give a fuck energy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the king, and not give a fuck, man.
Yeah,
so I got to do
fuck
on
me.
this.
Don't fuck me. I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know.
Yeah. So I got to roll with the dude on this one, and I mess with The Crow a lot. So.
Okay.
I liked The Crow. I think we talked last time that it is a quintessential 90s movie. I remember you guys watching it, and I actually watched it and said, wow, it's a kind of cool movie. I got caught up in it, and I've seen it several times. But to me, The Big Lebowski is it's hilarious. There's not a single bad performance in it. Every single performance from start to finish is brilliant. John Goodman, Jeff Bridges is astounding in it.
Steve Buscemi,
yeah,
Julianne Moore.
Yeah, I mean, everyone. There's not a bad. Nothing about the movie is not brilliant. There's just, the nihilists and just he grabs the rug and I mean, there's just so much to it that's so, and he's unflappable. Like, the most mad he gets is like, dude, like, come on, like, whatever,
there's a beverage
man.
here.
Yeah. Just like, he's just so perfect in that role. And I actually don't know if anybody else could have played it. That role, it was one of those perfectly cast movies. I don't think that there was anybody that would say, oh yeah, but if I could see this person in that role too.
Sure.
There's nobody in that movie that
the Jennifer Connelly, Liv Tyler rule. Like, I could see Jennifer Connelly or Liv Tyler playing either role.
But nothing in that movie is not perfect for everyone that's in it. I mean, it's hilarious. What's his name that the bowler, Jesus.
Jesus.
What's his
John Turturro.
John Turturro, yeah. Just brilliant in that
We can
movie,
talk
in the
the
purple suit and just
We'll talk to Jesus.
licks the ball. I mean, he's just it's amazing. Everything about that movie is awesome, and so I'm
Pedophile
definitely
dude, 8-year-olds.
What's that?
Pedophile dude, 8-year-olds.
No, it's just brilliant. Everyone in that movie is brilliant, and so I'm Big Lebowski for me.
Lebowski it is.
Yeah, it abides for me.
It abides.
I will also vote for The Big Lebowski, as much as it pains me to vote against The Crow, because I love that movie. I went as The Crow for Halloween for about, 8 years.
That's true, you did, actually.
I think every child did. I was it twice.
Yeah.
But it's, I think that it's a little, and this is going to come back and bite me in the ass, I know it, but I'm going to say it. It's a little bit overhanded, a little bit heavy-handed in the stylistics of it. Like, nothing looks like the movie The Crow. Like, there's imitators and there's homages made to it, but nothing looks like The Crow. But in the same way, nothing looks like The Big Lebowski. They're both so stylistically unique. They both stand out on their own accord, but one stands out just a little bit more. So, just based on that, I'm going to give it to The Big Lebowski. Plus, it's far more quotable movie. I use far more...
Me too.
I use far more quotes from The Big Lebowski in my daily life than I ever do from The Crow.
Yes, I agree. I think this is the first 3-0 that we've had.
We've had a couple.
For this round, I mean.
For this round, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Also, before it goes away, The Crow is also one of the better, I wouldn't put it in the pantheon of the best, but one of the better comic book adaptations out there.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
Which goes a long way in our circle. So.
For sure.
All right, we're going to go across the way as The Big Lebowski takes out The Crow. We are going to start on our number 4, bottom right. This is going to be a tough one. We have Forrest Gump going up against Jurassic Park.
I'll go ahead. It's going to be Jurassic Park for me. I was so fascinated by that movie. That movie blew me away. I remember seeing it in the theaters after I had just read the book. Like, it was one of those, I saw the trailer that was coming out, and so I devoured the book and tried to read it as fast as I could before the movie came out. And it did not disappoint on any level. Again, you talk about how technology, the technology of the movie completely reinvigorated and the entire way special effects are done, the blend of practical effects and computer generated effects, they blended so seamlessly that you couldn't tell a difference. The entire storyline is fantastic. Essentially, it's the killers in the house, but it's dinosaurs. I love that movie. Unabashedly, I'm going to vote for Jurassic Park over, 100%.
I think you guys have convinced me, actually.
Oh!
On Jurassic Park. I was, like, we talked about it now. It's our third round of voting on it, and it keeps getting targeted. And I think there's some corny stuff in it that's just totally unnecessary, like goofy stuff that is like, when he's in the outhouse, it's like, okay, well, he's going to get eaten in there. Like, just, they telegraphed that for like 100 miles.
You brought up a character that was a pioneer. There's a trend going around on the internet that you see people saying, and it's called "fuck those kids." where you're like, I'm going out to dinner tonight. Fuck those kids. Things of that nature. And that man, sir, that got eaten on that toilet was a pioneer. He was
Because he bailed.
Well, no, he was given charge of a billionaire's nieces and nephew, all right? Grandkids, I'm sorry,
Right.
grandkids. And there's killer prehistoric things running around the islands. And he said, you know what? Fuck those kids. And he bailed. So he, sir, was a pioneer. And I'm putting him up on the What You Been Watching. That character on the What You Been Watching Hall.
We'll talk about it.
Anyways,
We'll see.
Anyways, I didn't mean to interject.
No. It's but
groundbreaking stuff in a lot of ways.
Forrest Gump was amazing. I thought it was brilliant because of the way it just inserted him and they into all these historical events, and they used actual footage. I mean, and the technology of that was pretty cool, of just inserting him into that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did they have Forrest Gump fight a T-Rex? No, they did not.
Well, no, but because there weren't T-Rexes in Forrest Gump. But,
Yeah,
but
that's the problem with the movie.
No. But on its own, because of what it was about, it was a pretty awesome movie. Yeah, I think you all have convinced me that so I've changed. I was an earlier advocate and strong proponent for Forrest Gump making the finals, but I think I see Jurassic Park. I see the wisdom of your. I loved Forrest Gump. I would watch it right now. I may go home and watch it right after I watch Schindler's List.
Out of spite.
So,
Man, well, I had a bunch to say about both, but I mean, if it's going to be a two vote for JP, I mean, I love Forrest Gump. There's only one sequel I will accept, and I'm not going to say it on mic. But yeah, they better follow a certain child, and they better tell me if he has a disease or not. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But Jurassic Park is going to move on, but again, Forrest Gump is a one-of-one movie. Yeah. And we all know how we feel about the director Robert Zemeckis around these parts if you've been listening for a while. So
Talking about Robbie Z's?
Robbie Z's. He's definitely on the wall, and it's overridden.
That's right.
So, all right, Jurassic
Mama
Park.
always said life was like a box of raptors.
More on that in a minute. But Jurassic Park is going to move on. Forrest Gump, though. Phenomenal movie and of its time. Okay, so in the final bracket we have here, we have Good Will Hunting going up against Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
I mean, I have thoughts. I think that Good Will Hunting is a great character study. You get a complete character study of a man who is troubled and trying to find his own way in the world. Plus, you throw in the complications of a budding romance and two people really trying to get to know each other, especially when one of them is going through therapy and trying to face his own demons. But Fear and Loathing is just such a uniquely... There's no other movie that stands out like it in the 90s. And as much as I love Good Will Hunting, especially for the snappy dialogue, just there's something about the directorial style of Terry Gilliam that sets this movie apart, and it's such fun. And again, it comes down to, if you're going to put both of these movies in front of me right now, I'm going to want to watch Fear and Loathing because it's such a fun trip that I'm going to be entertained. Whereas I feel like, this is going to sound like a negative, but it's really positive. If I watch Good Will Hunting, I'm going to stop and rewind and watch scenes over and over and over again and really dissect the dialogue and the characterization and sort of the emotional journey of everyone involved, almost to the point where I'll never finish the movie. Whereas if I just watch Fear and Loathing, I can just sort of put it on and be entertained and just sort of lose myself in the entertainment of it all. So I'm going to vote for Fear and Loathing. Plus, Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro is like a better combo than Matt and Ben in that. So
They both take some big swings, though. Well, go ahead.
for me, Fear and Loathing was a good movie, but I didn't love Fear and Loathing in Las. I liked it. It was funny. It was humorous. It was a good movie, but it was not. It doesn't even begin to measure up. It's literally like not even in the same ballpark.
okay,
It's Bush League versus like the All Stars.
in terms
I
of the
fought in your
movies.
general direction.
Exactly. I mean, seriously. I mean, it was a good movie, but I don't think it was. If I never saw it again, I wouldn't care.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
But Good Will Hunting. If I never saw it again, I would care. I would
Okay.
absolutely care. I think
Okay.
the dialogue's brilliant. The story is brilliant. It's just a really. I don't know. It's just a really cool perspective. You know, I like my movies darker and more. I like to have them kind of slap me in the head and make me think a little bit. And that movie does that successfully. So that for me, it's not even a contest.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Surprisingly, everyone knows. I think they know. I'm not talked about it a lot on here, but I'm a huge Johnny Depp fan.
Yep.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, there was a point in my life. Yes, I was ravenous with the Johnny Depp consumption. I think I've seen all of his movies up to a certain point and just find them on DVD and buy them. I really, really like Fear and Loathing. I think it's a little bit too frenetic sometimes for its own good. Just in terms of even like it's just like way so much red that it just kind of gives me a headache. And I get that's the point of it.
Sure.
It's supposed to be like it's shot in such a way, but there's so many close-up, sweaty shots and things of that nature that sometimes I need a break from that movie. And
Fills you with anxiety and stuff.
a little bit, yeah.
Which is kind of the point.
Kind of the point. So they're doing it well. Again, the goal is as a movie to entertain and kind of maybe walk away with something. It does that. But there's, again, and maybe this is just my experience with the movie, is it was talked about in circles like all the stoner kids in high school were like, oh, fucking Fear and Loathing. It was like, and it's okay. Like I thought it was going to be something it wasn't. And I love Benicio del Toro in it, but there's other psychedelic trip movies that I would watch before that. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean that I dislike Fear and Loathing, though. There's lines I say sometimes that nobody knows what I'm talking about. And it's never, of course, if you know me, never like, this is Bat Country. I'll just yell, the fear has gotten me. Like, the fear has got me, man.
It took too much, man. It took too much.
Nobody knows what I'm talking about, yeah. But as somebody who's only seen Good Will Hunting once, and so I've seen Fear and Loathing more times than I care to admit. Again, those Criterion Collection DVDs, man. Special features, all
They're
that
the best.
stuff. They are. I'm inclined to lean Good Will Hunting.
Okay.
So, and again, I really care for Fear and Loathing. So,
I will say that there is that one scene where Johnny Depp has the great monologue about the tide of the 60s rolling back, and sort of, you can see where the wave of momentum stretched as far as, Las Vegas and the Mississippi River, and then the tide slowly rolled back, and we're getting into the Reaganomics of it all, and the changing of the guard, and sort of being the avant-garde of the old era, and now having to deal with the consequences of the new era. So I just want to put that out there. There is also that layer. Does it change your vote?
no, this is already really close. It's
Okay.
and like really close. Again, I'm only seeing good. I was fine not seeing Good Will Hunting my whole life. I wasn't missing anything. But like, yeah. So I'm glad I did though. I'm glad I did. But
Okay.
it's closer than it was. But these movies are pretty close to the same tier for me. But I'm gonna lean Good Will Hunting on this one.
Okay.
So, all right, we're gonna move ahead, and then
Are we to the?
we are to the lead 8 right now.
Good.
So we're gonna pushing back on with the Sweet 8 or whatever we're gonna call it.
Elite 8.
Right. I think that's trademarked, but hey. Why not? All right, so we're going to go back to the top left corner, bracket number 1. This is a tough one, ladies and germs. We have Saving Private Ryan going up against Goodfellas.
Oof. You want to start us off here, Dad?
Sure. I'm taking Private. I'm ride or die with Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan. I think that it's an amazing movie. I made all my points before, so I'm just going to cast my ballot. And if I don't like the outcome, then I'm going to bring some more people in, and we'll stuff the ballot box to ensure the appropriate movie moves in.
How very democratic of you.
Yeah.
Small D.
Yeah, we know.
Man, these are both movies that I want to hate on.
Yeah. These are the hard decisions. This is where it gets rough.
Saving Private Ryan, I mean, I don't know. I get it's the story and they get there, but sometimes Saving Private Ryan drags a little bit, and sometimes Goodfellas it gets kind of, the third act to me is just kind of, I don't know, it's just, they kind of paint like Ray Liotta as the good guy or whatever, but the magic trick of that movie is he's 100% the bad guy.
Right.
He's like, not only is he a gangster, but he's like associating with these people, but he's doing the one thing that like the guy says, don't do. We're not dealing with cocaine. Like we're not, and he's behind everyone's back. He's ruining his life. He's ruining his family's life. He's keeping all these secrets. I mean, he's never been the most, which is fine. I understand it's a character. It's not a judgment of his character. It's not him versus Private Ryan, but he never earns his redemption in the end. It's just he simply and this is my problem with the movie, even though it's incredibly realistic. That's why I like Casino more, is he never earns his way out. He's just simply like, yeah, I'm a rat. And so his whole character is like, you're kind of just weak. You just kind of were along the ride for this whole time. You shook enough hands and greased enough palms and you just coasted by. And the second there was any adversity, you just bailed. You took a quick pinch and that was it. And like, he doesn't really do anything. He's not that good. He doesn't follow the mob's orders very well. He's not a good husband. He's really not. I mean, his friends certainly weren't loyal to them, but it's reciprocated by him. And so, I've never understood.
He's a dirtbag.
He's an absolute scumbag.
Yeah, he's not a very endearing character. I'll give you that.
A complete dirtbag.
But
But he plays it well.
No, he does, and it's phenomenally
That's
acted.
gonna be a point. Yeah.
I think a lot of people look at this movie of like, and I get he had no choice, but like he's this great character, and he is a great character, but not of moral composition whatsoever. And I think people get it twisted of like, well, of the three, the other guys were the bad guy. Like, no, not at all. Like,
yeah, at least they stood for something. At least,
he's a weasel. Like, he's an outright weasel.
Right.
I'll buy that.
So he never monikers the name of Goodfellas. To me, in my opinion, it's him. It's him. He's not a part of anything except for in title alone. So I don't know. That's my thought about the movie.
So what does that mean? In terms of where does that leave you in the voting category?
That's just me.
That's your critique, and it's a legitimate critique of Goodfellas. I agree with it, but which moves forward?
I mean, that's just my beef with it. I guess ultimately, I think Saving Private Ryan drags a little bit in the middle.
For sure.
And it's hard to say that during a movie that has literal gunfights and sniper battles and things of this nature. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Sometimes I think length, I get they're trying to tell a whole tale. You care about the characters more. But to me, sometimes I'm like, all right, on to the next point where they're going to defend, and then on this, and it's just kind of...
What do you have, the attention span of a spoon?
Yes.
I mean...
yeah. I don't know.
Where does it drag? In everything, there's
the dialogue,
always some...
It's social media's fucked up my algorithm.
It's not... let me say it doesn't drag. It's just rinse the premise of this... Mix what it is that you're protecting or what you need to get, whatever the quote-unquote MacGuffin is. Rinse, wash, repeat. Rinse, wash, repeat. And eventually it's just like, all right, and then we're going to save Private Ryan. And it's just, they put him in this scenario, and I get it's war. It's a war movie. It's not like, and then we have to cross the Unicorn Bridge. But it's just the process of them like, oh, now this happens. Now that is very rinse, wash, repeat, even though it's phenomenally shot and everything.
Sure.
So that's my only...
It is very much, we have to get to... From point A to point B, defend point B, then move on to point C, defend point C,
lose a character.
Right.
The whole point of, you served in the military and the Coast Guard, so
barely.
Well, so I don't have any expertise on this other than that I've watched an awful lot.
I wouldn't say I was of service. I was there.
I've watched a lot of war movies, and the idea that they finish this and then it's immediately like, all right, we're done, we got to go do something else, is exactly what it is like. I've talked to people that have served, and they say that's exactly, you finish this mission, you get to rest for a teeny bit, and then you're like, all right, what's next? Because they can't just be sitting around doing nothing.
Yes, Huey, but it was boring.
I'm just saying.
No. Look, I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's a bad. This is like me find something to critique about the movie.
I got you.
Is ultimately what it is. I'm going to give it Save It Private Ryan because the nitpicks I have with Goodfellas are more, but they exist within Save It Private Ryan. And again, it may be historically like accurate, and again, it's really well done. But to me, it's just kind of like it gets a bit formulaic, and then it just kind of like gets to the end, which they already told you in the beginning, and it's like, all right, cool. That's just my opinion.
I was going to give it to Goodfellas just because I think that in terms of production value, in terms of cinematography, I think it's a more well put together movie. again, I love a good character study. I love watching Henry Hill on his rise and fall and eventual, not even redemption, but just skating, on thin ice. He's the only one that escapes unscathed, basically, for better or worse. As much as I love Saving Private Ryan, and it is a very action-forward movie, I think the movie really, really slows down in terms of, unless there's gunfire happening on the scene, it's a slow movie.
Yeah.
Whereas I think that Goodfellas is a slow movie, but more intentionally slow, and I think that the pace, as weird as it sounds, the slow pacing works for it in the end. So I'm going to vote for Goodfellas, but just barely.
So I would argue that when I've talked to people about Saving Private Ryan, I've talked to people who have served in the military and have been under fire, is that it's, and we've heard this said about other things, is that it's hours of excitement interrupted by months of boredom, weeks of boredom.
Sure.
And that's basically what it's like to serve. And then you're
hurry up to stand by.
Yep. Yeah. And so when you talk about that, I mean, that's what they're trying. They were portraying a legitimate. That's the way it was.
I agree. I just, from a writer's perspective and sort of a producer's perspective, I think that Goodfellas is the more valuable story, but that's just me.
Yeah. So I liked Goodfellas a lot. Like Marcus, I liked Casino better. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Goodfellas, to me, I think I like Ray Liotta a lot, but I think he overacts a little bit in it in some of the scenes.
Well, that's Ray Liotta.
I know, but I think he overacts in it, and so it's kind of it. That's one of my gripes about it. He's so over the top with his, I mean, I get it. He was coked out and paranoid, and he does a really good job of that. But I mean, I don't know. It just kind of.
My problem with Saving Private
anybody that would see him behaving that way, and you can't hide when you're that paranoid and freaked out. They would have offed him a long time ago for him just behaving that way, because he's an unstable character that, they would have said, he's unstable now. We need to, before he messes us all up, we got to get rid of him.
Okay.
That's what I would do. And I would not do a drive-by shooting. I would walk up and John Wick it and shoot him in the face. So.
Well, I think that Tom Hanks is too wholesome in Saving Private Ryan.
That's it.
Damn.
Yeah.
He's white bread on mayo.
Y'all got me messed up now, because you're right. I like the dialogue a lot better in Goodfellas, but I'm still going to lean Saving Private Ryan.
All right. Hey, I made a good bid.
You did. No, it's hard.
You made me reconsider, to be honest.
And honestly, if it had been Casino, I might have voted differently. But because it's Goodfellas, I mean, but we had to make a choice at some point.
Sure. But shout out to the scene. I've never seen that like that, where the monologue at the end, where he just starts looking down the barrel of the camera and just narrates it just directly. And that was a big controversial thing that they decided to end on, which a lot of people love.
Oh, Goodfellas?
Yeah, which a lot of people love and a lot of people hate. So.
Yeah. I didn't happen to like that very much. I thought it's
really well shot.
Yeah, it is. But
Just to sing the praises of Saving Private Ryan for a second, it does give us Dominic Toretto in one of his best performances ever.
Right. Well, it's moving on.
Vin Diesel.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
All right, we're going straight across the way.
Who was the guy that was the sniper?
Barry Pepper.
He's from Florida. He was brilliant in that movie. I mean, his character, just he was a mean killing machine, but he didn't have he wasn't doing it to be mean. It was
not malicious.
It was his
just
job.
Effective.
Yeah, it was his job, and he did it. And he's praying and shooting people.
It's like going to the slaughterhouse every day. I'm not doing this out of cruelty or desire to whatever. It's
and
just,
I have 9 dogs at home.
This
that
pays
I pet
the
and
bills.
love.
Yeah.
But I'm just doing my job.
Right.
He played that so well. It's such an amazing role. The way
he's a really underrated actor.
I agree.
He's been in a lot of stuff that he's been.
He's gotten an underrated performance of the week from
for sure.
Yeah,
he's Crawl.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Barry Peps.
Yeah.
He's seriously, that was a great role. I think he was one of my favorite characters.
And Giovanni Ribisi and Tom Sizemore. Yeah.
Tom Sizemore is a nut now, by the way.
Yeah.
I think he might be dead.
He may have died, but he went off the deep end.
Anyways, we're going to go across to our other side of this. We got Silence of the Lambs going up against Lion King.
Ooh, Silence of the Lions.
I'm going to be real here. I'm going Lion King.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, I've already made all my cases that I'm going to make. I don't have anything to add other than to say
that you haven't seen Lion King.
Right, exactly.
I appreciate your honesty.
So I'm going Silence of the Lambs all the way on it. It's a brilliant movie, and as you know, it scared the crap out of me, and I'm still voting for it.
I'm also going to vote for Silence of the Lambs. As much as I love the Disney Revolution, just Silence of the Lambs is a beautiful performance all around. It's so well shot. I mean, you talk about one of the seminal movies of the 90s. It can't be denied.
You think about his character, Anthony Hopkins. He was only on screen for like 11 minutes or something.
Something like that.
It's a really short, but he overwhelmed the film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that. When you think Silence of the Lambs, who do you think of first?
Well, but that might be
Hopkins.
That might be one of my problems with the movie is it a good movie, or is his performance so good that it overwhelms everything else in the movie?
For me, both.
We'll talk.
Yeah, I don't think.
Moving on.
Yeah,
so
I don't think it has to be either or. I think it's both.
All right.
That's what I love about the movie.
So, Silence of the Lambs.
Just moving on over Lion King, Asa Bin Siya. All right. In the bottom right bracket, we have Jurassic Park going up against Good Will Hunting. This one's easy for me. This is easy for me.
Again, I'm going to go Jurassic Park. I just think that movie was such a touchstone of my movie-going experience in terms of seeing what was possible as far as special effects and CGI, and just being completely astounded by everything that happened on screen from beginning to end. Good Will Hunting is a great character study and beautifully acted. I mean, it won Matt Damon and
Screenwriting.
Ben Affleck.
Yeah, that's it. All I was thinking was Batman. I was like, that's not his name.
Yeah.
Ben
Screenwriters.
Affleck. Yeah.
Best original screenplay.
Yeah.
So, as good as that is, just Jurassic Park, it has a deeper seed in my heart and my movie-going experience more than Good Will Hunting does. So I have to give it to Jurassic Park.
So that's interesting. Again, we had a couple of these that I think your age matters, and not that you're immature or anything like that. But I mean, that was
it's our whole angle here.
No. I think that like
welcome to the What You've Been Watching podcast.
I think that because of the age you were when you watched it, it was super influential to you. It was.
Sure.
Like super like, oh my god, dinosaurs coming alive and all that. Yeah. And I liked all that, but there was a little too much camp in it for me. That I didn't. Again, I talked about that in the last round. There was just a little bit of camp. I was like, well, that was unnecessary. I read the book. The book was brilliant, and I wish that the movie would have stayed closer to the book.
It was a little bit darker in the book.
It was a lot darker, and it was a lot more. But the movie wasn't that, and if they'd have made the movie that the book was, I'd probably be voting for that, but they didn't. And so...
See, I think that the movie did a brilliant thing of... The book spends 4 chapters expanding and defining the... That's just how he writes, but they spend 4 chapters absolutely defining the science in terms of... exactly how they mix the DNA and what chemical compounds and what genetic sequences machines they're using, and it's AI. Like, we don't need all that. Like, I think
Mr. DNA crushed it.
Exactly. I think that the movie does a good job of dumbing down a really smart idea into a simple, easy to digest concept that allows you to just move on and we can move forward the movie. It's one of those experiences where it doesn't matter how they built the dinosaurs. all we need to know is they built the dinosaurs. And so now we can move on with the plot.
I don't disagree with you, and I do think that the book, like any Michael Crichton or Tom Clancy,
Sure.
Way
Way
and
too
they use
detailed.
the XP-37, which is a gun designed to blow. You're like, so he shot the dude with this really good gun.
Exactly.
So I get that, but still, throughout the book was, despite even all those, like the minutia that he didn't need to get into. But some people love that about him. But anyway, for me, Good Will Hunting, I just think that it was I don't know, it had and because of my age, I think that impacted me more than Jurassic Park did because of there was existential questions in there, and I was at an age where I was looking at existential questions. Where was my life? What was I?
Right.
Who am I? What am I? Am I just my job? Am I more than that? Am I just my kids? Am I just a father? Am I just like all that? And so to me, it just really struck a nerve. And so, Good Will Hunting for me. So
To be fair, you were never really a father, so...
Anyways, doggy style. I went out of order, and we did bracket number 4 last time, so we're going to skip back across a little bit out of order.
Okay.
And I'm going to watch y'all have fun with this one. We have Pulp Fiction taking on The Big Lebowski. All right, can I start this one off?
yeah,
Please.
All right, so here's my thing: is Lebowski and its bigness is pretty awesome still across the board. There's things that I want to say about Quentin Tarantino, but here's the thing: if I'm looking at this movie individually, there's certainly telltale signs in this film that made me fatigued with Quentin Tarantino later. Okay. But because it was only his second movie, in Reservoir Dogs, I'll talk about the scene I'm talking about, where it just gets grotesque just to be grotesque. They could torture the guy and all this, but he's like, no, I want to show him cut his ear off. There's other ways that they can insinuate torture that get the point across, but because Tarantino has such a horror, I like creepy things, and that's his whole quirks and whatever. That was in Reservoir Dogs, but you didn't really notice it because of the tone of the film, and you're like, okay.
Well, to be fair...
But I'm saying, that was his first movie. Okay, that's his style. And then in Pulp Fiction, he does it again, but the fatigue hadn't kicked in yet. For example, when they all, and I'm just going to skip the R word that we're all talking about.
Sure.
Where they bond Ving Rhames and all that stuff, and they have the gimp come out of the box. There is a million other ways to insinuate that terrible things were going on there. But Quentin Tarantino can't help himself. And from that point on, he does it in every single movie. Where it's just he can't leave well enough alone.
I agree.
And it just becomes... But I'm not judging this movie by what I grew frustrated with Quentin Tarantino with.
Good.
All right? And I don't even mind gore. My favorite part in... because the movie was boring in my opinion. My favorite part in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is when Brad Pitt was smashing those people up in the house.
Right. Flamethrower and...
Yeah.
I will point out that in Reservoir Dogs, the scene that you're talking about where they cut off the cop's ear, they never actually show him cut off the ear. The camera pans away and you hear the sounds and all this, and then he comes back with the severed ear. Whereas in Pulp Fiction, there actually is a scene of Zed,
Sodomy. Yeah.
Yeah, being full penetrative on
Ving Rhames.
Vin Rhames. I was going to say Michael Clark Duncan, but I always get those confused.
No, my point is and it's the same thing. Whether they show it or not, I get it. They were a little more subtle in, quote unquote, a little more subtle in Reservoir Dogs. That movie's also covered in blood.
Right.
But they cut a dude's ear off, and don't they light him on fire at some point?
He starts to. He never actually does. Right.
Okay.
He douses him in kerosene. He's got the lighter flicked, and then all of a sudden, Mr. Orange kicks in.
Yeah. Which again, that's the whole thing. It's did you? And so in Pulp Fiction, there was signs of that made me grow tired of it later. So I say all that to say, like I said, I'm not going to hold my beef with Quentin Tarantino against him in this movie.
Sure. Because
this one was incredibly original and mentioned earlier. So this is me separating this movie from my beef with Tarantino.
Okay.
I still am inclined to say Big Lebowski, but again, I think this is one of those where both of these deserve to be in the final 4.
Yeah, for sure.
I think most people would argue that it's got to be Pulp Fiction, but I don't know, man. I haven't seen Pulp Fiction in a while. I know the last time I saw it, the quote-unquote cool factor, maybe it's because I was a little bit more used to it, But like, I never found John Travolta to be cool in that movie. Like,
Really?
At all. God, it feels.
I mean, it revolutionized his career. Like it reinvigorated his whole career.
I get that, but he seems like he's shoehorning it in the whole time. Like he seems really out of touch as an actor, trying to be cool. And thank goodness Quentin Tarantino wrote such a good script that if you just put any flavor on what he's saying, you're probably going to walk away pretty good.
Wow, really? So if I interpret right, you're saying that like although John Travolta is good in that, and although it like reinvigorated his career, you kind of could have plugged in any out of work actor into that and had the same effect just based on the script.
Yeah. I just
maybe not any actor, but like
John Travolta just seems out of touch. And again, it's just like he's 70s cool and all. And it's cool. He did fine in the movie, whatever. But like I don't think he was. It's Sam. Like every scene he's in, it's Sam Jack carrying it, and he just happens to have a funny bit of dialogue to say back. He delivers it well enough, but like it's Sam Jack by far.
Right.
Carrying
Vincent, if you give this man $400, I'm going to shoot him in the face based on principle.
Yeah.
You ain't going to do a goddamn thing.
Yeah. I don't know. That's my take. Like Pulp Fiction is an incredible movie. I don't think it's without its flaws, just in terms of the linear storytelling. I think if you ask somebody like, tell me this movie, start to finish, how it happens and ends, most people couldn't do it. I probably couldn't. I could get close. Okay. But the magic trick of that movie is it doesn't really matter.
Sure.
We all know the story's intertwined. The how and why of it all is kind of irrelevant because each story stands alone on its own. So I'm inclined to say Pulp Fiction, but I'm really on the fence, and I could be convinced either way. So The Big Lebowski's my jam, though, like truly. And
I'm going to go Big Lebowski just because I think that, again, we talk about movies that could only be made in the 90s that reference the 90s. And these are two perfect examples of that. You know, both of them take place in the height of the 90s and both very counterculture to what was going on. You know, like in mainstream America, you had the Jinkos and the skateboard videos, you had the Britney Spears, you had the this, the that, and these two movies are so counterculture to all of that. You know, you have Pulp Fiction that's reaching back to, you know, the heydays or the aesthetics and the heyday of the noir. 60s and 70s.
I think even the 40s, the noir.
Sure. It's a little bit what's the word? Anachronistic. I know I've used that word before, but it's sort of timeless in terms of they're reaching back to further decades that are sort of undefined. Whereas The Big Lebowski is the counterculture of the 90s in terms of everyone was so involved in, you know, the politics, the music videos, the drugs, the scene, the whatever it may be, and here's a guy who is completely disconcerted with all of that. So I think that in terms of if the 90s was all about counterculture and counter-revolution, I think that Pulp Fiction feeds into that, whereas the Big Lebowski is the prime example of what the 90s aesthetic was about. So I'm going to go for The Big Lebowski just because I think that Quentin Tarantino leads a little bit too much into trying to drive into the pulse of the 90s, whereas The Big Lebowski is more about removing the needle from the vein of the 90s.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
Point. Yeah, no, fair point.
Compelling arguments. I honestly don't know on this one. I'm totally.
Well, it comes down to you. So
I know. I'm kind of shocked in what you said about John Travolta that you could plug somebody else in there. I think, yeah, I mean, just it was the perfect role for him, and I do not believe that anybody else could have pulled that role.
What was it? I mean, because he danced with Uma Thurman, like.
A little bit of that because it plugged into from the Saturday Night Fever thing, and so it was perfect that he was back on the dance floor doing that. He had a charisma in that movie that's just a super slow, cool, just kind of like.
It's because he was drugged up the whole time.
But he played it perfectly. I mean, he played it brilliantly, and I just I honestly can't imagine anybody else in that role. Just like I can't imagine anybody but Jeff Bridges playing the Big Lebowski. I honestly think that...
I would argue, I think that you could fit James Spader into the John Travolta role and have maybe not the exact same performance, but fairly close.
Nah. I hear you. But I think that there was great chemistry between John Travolta and Uma Thurman. I mean, on screen, the chemistry was amazing. And I don't think that same chemistry would have happened with anybody but John Travolta.
But I think that Uma Thurman is way more the charismatic character in that.
John Travolta's coolness was just so...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
He
struggled so hard with, like, God, she's hot and she likes me, and I can't... I'm going to get thrown out a window. Yeah,
you're going to go home, you're going to jerk off, you're going to go to bed, and that's what you're going to do.
That's exactly, yeah. It's a brilliant movie. I love The Big Lebowski too. I'm stuck. I honestly feel like I have to flip a mental coin.
You have to.
And so I'm going to say...
I mean, I'm still kind of on the fence myself, but I don't know. I think part of it is you also at one point saw John Travolta as cool, and I had never seen Grease. I'd never seen Saturday Night. So I saw him post-comeback, and after this movie, he made a lot of stinkers.
Yeah.
He made a lot of stinkers really fast.
I agree with you.
I think again, which leads to my point. He was never really that good in the first place. And he kind of carried. I mean, it's just my opinion.
You guys are big. What's his name? Fan. The guy I hate that you guys love. Face Off. He was in the movie with Face Off. Not John Cusack. What's his name?
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. And
how could you forget Nicolas Cage?
Whatever, because I tried to put him out of my memory.
He's amazing.
He's not amazing, but that's a different discussion. Let's
bring up Leaving Las Vegas again.
Yeah, no. But so I don't know. I just think that I just think we just see it differently, and the resurgence of John Travolta. I agree, he did some Dogs after that, but I think he also did some other decent movies after that too. Michael was where he was the angel. That was pretty cool. I like that movie. I thought.
Are you talking about Powder?
Yeah,
Phenomenon. That was cool too.
Phenomenon
was cool too. That was a good movie.
It's an inside joke.
Okay.
We mixed those three movies up. They're all one.
But Michael, that was a cool movie. And I've seen him. Trying to remember sort of what else I've seen him in, just because I...
So what does it come down to? We got to make a decision.
Got to make a decision, I know.
It comes down to you, sir.
It's a free throw with the game on the line right here. And...
It's Pulp Fiction or The Big Lebowski?
I'm gonna surprise myself and say Big Lebowski.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, after much deliberation, we are down to the final four. This is no punches being pulled. If you got something to say on a movie that you think's going to push it ahead, or just bash the other movie because you want to get your narrative out first and control the narrative, which is part of the argument process here at What You've Been Watching. We also haven't pulled only one so far. Hey, fuck you, that movie rules. Now's your time to do it. So, in our first matchup, we just talked about that last one, so I'm going to skip across the way.
Okay.
We're going to do Silence of the Lambs versus Jurassic Park.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Silence of the Lambs.
Jurassic Park. It's got to be. Again, I think that as good as Silence of the Lambs is, and it's a great character study, I think that, again, you talk about the technological aspects of Jurassic Park, it set the standard. And every science fiction movie that came after that was, how do we do the same thing that Jurassic Park did? As good as Silence of the Lambs is, I think that not many people were trying to repeat that. Like, I kind of feel like it's been done, like maybe in like the Mindhunters or the CSI of it all, in terms of like that completely invigorated the like police procedural of it all. You know, you get your Law and Order SVUs, your CSIs, your whatever, but as far as redefining the way a movie is done, Jurassic Park.
It's on me?
Yeah, it's on you.
All right, here's the thing, either one of these could go forward and I wouldn't be too upset about it. But
right.
Man, and you're right, this is one of those things where it's going to be an age factor thing. As an adult, I've probably, I don't know. I've seen Silence of the Lambs more often in the last 10 years than I have Jurassic Park.
Okay.
That being said, though, man, Jurassic Park, and I'm about to throw something out there that I don't want to. I want to save it for, because it's about to move on to, I think, the final.
Yeah.
See, I might have to save it, but I'll just say it like this then. Steven Spielberg was firing on all cylinders, and this is him just being like, I can make a blockbuster, I can make Schindler's List, I can make E.T., I can do Raiders of the Lot. Like, there's nothing this dude can't do.
Yeah.
And the movie itself is just a testament, and I get it. You're losing a lot of audience the second that you get something just being rated R. I'm not talking about the quality of the movie or anything like that, but you're just losing a certain audience because people either don't like it's too violent for me. Jurassic Park is one of those films that is made to be seen on the big screen with family members and everyone else involved. And there's just something about that to me of like, in terms of, that's an aspect of movie going and movie watching that rarely gets kind of brought up. And I think for this one, it's kind of that thing, man.
But that's almost too easy. Like,
No,
you make a
man.
movie that's appeals to the masses. Like,
No,
You think
Ryan?
Jurassic Park was an easy undertaking to
I
make?
think in terms of, I think the concept of it is in terms of like, it's a Frankenstein story of sorts is basically
Sure.
what it is. And so
I'm not denying
Frankenstein's
that,
monster.
but
And so
that's in the origin of the book.
Well,
Is
but-
look what
I
man
do
hath
think
wrought.
it's something that's I mean, and the idea of making it available to the masses. I mean, there was a decision made for Silence of the Lambs to make it the way they made it, and they knew that they were going to exclude some audience,
No doubt.
but it needed to be made that way in order to be the movie that it was. If they tried to PG-13 that one, it wouldn't have been the same movie.
No, agreed.
I agree.
And so,
I agree.
And so, I disagree with your comments that people haven't tried to replicate
All right.
Silence of the Lambs. I think they have. I think that it's
They definitely
it's so brilliant that you can't really. I mean, people have tried the long, suspenseful pauses and the whole, just. Yeah, it's just.
I think the concept more of anything of turning to somebody, an evil, you quote unquote, the evil you know, to find something that's out there, resorting to somebody who's like, the idea of like, oh, somebody's stealing from our casino. Who should we hire? Oh, an old
crook.
casino
Yeah,
chief.
yeah, exactly. Like
that concept.
Ocean's 11. Yeah.
It's a bit of a, wildly totally
Yeah.
different. But same kind of thing where people turn to, even like the movie Avengers, when they have Loki trapped in there. And it's like, oh, we need to know his plan. Like they're turning to, they get Black Widow to go in there or whatever.
Sure.
Kind of the same kind of thing, the cat and mouse. Like, it pays a lot of homage. But I don't know, man. There's something about, to me, and this is just my honest opinion, I think Jurassic Park is the spiritual successor to Jaws.
I would buy that 100%.
It is about capitalism
That's fair,
and
sure.
the greed of it, and I think it's people, for whatever reason, like Steven Spielberg went off and did a bunch of artsy movies, and then he comes back and it's like, I'm going to make, in terms of like a true blockbuster, to have that done twice has to be, it's miraculous.
I'm just not.
Damn, that's brilliant.
I'm
did
just-
you just say what I was trying to say, but smarter?
Yeah.
I'm just not up. For some reason, blockbusters just bug me. I just do.
Give him no joy.
They just
You're like
kind of.
Matthew.
What's that?
It's like Matthew.
Yeah, I mean, I just do. I didn't see Star Wars, the first Star Wars. Everybody else saw it. I didn't see it till like 25 years later.
Blasphemy.
I've never seen Titanic, the whole movie. I mean, there's so many movies that if they're blockbusters, I'm just like, I eschew it. I'm just kind of like, not for me, man. If everybody else is watching it, it's so run of the mill and pedestrian. It typically is.
You make it sound like Silence of the Lambs is like not wildly popular.
It
That's
was
been
popular,
imitated.
but it wasn't a blockbuster. Like,
I
it wasn't
mean,
intended to put...
It won
It-
Academy Awards.
Because it was a great movie. That's
Somewhere-
not one.
somewhere-
No, there's a difference between... We can agree. There's a difference
There
between
is,
a
there is.
really good movie that puts a lot of butts in the seats versus a blockbuster movie. Like, there's a big difference between them. But blockbuster's intended to be a blockbuster. Like, action and shit blowing up and, like, all kinds of stuff. And, dinosaurs eating people and
You
whatever.
say this like it's a
So-
problem.
Well, I think it's pretty formulaic and a lot easier to make those movies than it is to make something that's, I wanted to say subversive, but that's not the right word. It was Silence of the Lambs was, it was just the evilness in it was just, it was so evil that it was brilliant. It just was. It just the entire.
You're gonna make me argue more points now.
I just love that somewhere MKD is just like, see, Dad, from you. I learned from watching you. It's all about dark, emotionality movie, but also, like, I really like bullshit movies. So, like, you know, I like some slop sometimes, you know.
Well, yeah, I do occasionally. Like Godzilla and, like, you know, give me that. That's fun. Hell, I liked 27 Dresses, you know. I mean, like, complete schlocky-ass movie. But, you know.
I get everything you're saying. I personally think of these, when we're talking 90s movies, the impact, some of the qualifiers we had, I just think Jurassic Park was too big.
I honestly believe that if we had somebody else my age in here, that they would vote for Silence of the Lambs also.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that it is a generational thing. I've
told you how much I love Silence of the Lambs.
No, but I think it's a generational because of the age that you guys were on. I'm not knocking it. It is what it is. I mean, I saw.
I think that's punching down.
I saw Jaws and I'll never forget that movie. You know, like
okay, well, in that same thing, that was like my Jaws, and also I think you're punching down a little bit as I didn't see Silence of the Lambs until I was older, and so it still impacted me at this. I was probably close to the same age you were when you saw it, and so like it's like the first time I heard the Temptations. Well, the song was out before you, but like when did you hear it, and what was the effect it had on you?
Right. I was still 16, going through heartbreak, and I heard like Just My Imagination. Like, of course, You know.
So I mean, I think that's punching down a little bit in the sense of generation. Like, yes, you saw it first and things of that nature, and I understand this is why we're talking like The Crow. Like, okay, the vibe and the culture of what movie going was at that time was one thing. But for me, I had seen a certain movies a certain way, and then Jurassic Park came out, and I've never been able to look at movies the same.
Sure.
Since that point.
You guys have already voted. I'm just, apparently.
You're wrong, but you voted.
No.
Yeah,
I just want to talk Silence of the Lambs.
You made a terrible choice, but I will have to live with that. And, you know, sometimes a top-ranked team makes it to the final. A not top-ranked team makes it to the final. That happens in basketball, too.
This is why I can't be proud of you.
It's all good. I got it earlier on
because you make bad decisions.
What were the Kansas City Chiefs, like 10-6 this year or something? So
11-6.
They were
weren't.
They were Taylor and Swift.
Hey. All right. Well, I agree with everything you said about Silence of the Lambs. Take solace in the fact that it made it to the Final Four.
That's right.
So it's not a bad run. It's not a bad run. But to move on,
I'm going to throw you into a well.
That's fine. That's fine
for that vote.
That's fine.
You know.
Hey, Mister, I got your dog.
And I won't even give you any lotion.
Right. All right. In our other bracket, if you haven't done the math by now, we have Saving Private Ryan going up against The Big Lebowski. Polar opposite films.
Wow.
Yeah, that is.
Polar opposite films.
Saving Private Ryan, for me.
Really?
Yeah, Saving Private Ryan.
Just flat out just because it's a war movie? Or?
No. Honestly, that movie...
I mean, if you got something in your pocket, now's the time to pull it out.
Honestly, from start to finish, that movie, I've seen it probably 30 times, that movie. I love that movie. It's so brilliantly done. It's just, everything about it. The cinematography is amazing. The storyline is amazing. The character development is amazing. All just amazing to me. I'm a huge fan of that movie.
So everything you just said about Saving Private Ryan, I'm also going to say for Big Lebowski.
The cinematography in Big Lebowski was
absolutely.
Really?
The dream sequences he has, well,
that's not the cinematography of it.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. How do you shoot a dream sequence and not have it look hokey and also play into the story and also play into his character development of... He's developing feelings for this girl. He's seeing Saddam Hussein. He's going bowling. Absolutely.
Maybe I'm using the wrong terminology when I say, because the scene, the settings of the movie, the old farmhouses, it perfectly portrayed that era and what was going on. The half shelled out buildings, it was, I don't know, man, everything about that movie. The moral dilemmas of it, there were a bunch of those all throughout, scattered throughout the movie, of just like, you know, whether he shot the rumor that he had shot the soldiers when that was the rumors that Tom Hanks had shot. Some of the
Prisoners of War,
prisoners of war, and
right,
like, oh, we heard this about him, and just all that. I don't. It's just a brilliant movie to me, and so I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll probably get outvoted here too, but that's okay because I've stated my case as well as I can. I've never, literally from the time I sat down to the time, and it would still have the same effect on me now. I would be crying. I would be soul searching. I would be like, nothing has worn off on that movie over the 25 to 30 times I've seen it. It still catches me the same every time.
Sure.
Nothing is worn off. There's no dull edges on it.
It still has the same emotional impact the 50th time you watch it as compared to the first time.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I dig that. I understand that. I do. I think that when it comes down to it, and maybe this is what it comes down to, is The Big Lebowski, when we're talking about 90s movies, is a 90s movie in terms of it takes place, not only does it take place in the 90s, but it takes place in a flashback of the 90s because it came out in 1998 and it takes place in like 1991, 1992. Like the opening line is, this is when Saddam and the Iraqis were causing all that trouble, and this is during the Bush era, whatever. Yeah. So not only was it shot in the 90s, but it takes place in a precedent 90s era.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Saving Private Ryan gets a lot of leeway because it is a World War II movie. It takes place in the 40s. And so it is a cultural tale, but it doesn't necessarily represent the 90s.
Well, I agree with you on that. I mean,
which is what we're looking for. Which is
it's a qualifier.
It's one of the qualifiers. It's not what we were looking for.
We're flexible,
or else we wouldn't have. I mean, think about some of the other movies that we've put.
But I'm just saying, in this instance, and I'm going to change my mind later.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
But in this instance,
how convenient.
In this instance, if we're talking about a 90s movie, The Big Lebowski takes precedent over a film that takes place over World War II.
In your humble opinion.
Damn.
Very humble.
Right. All right. This is, if it goes a certain way, it's going to be 2 Steven Spielberg movies in the lineup. Which, once again, is a testament to what a freaking brilliant filmmaker the man is.
That's
like all time, like if there's a single pinnacle, it might be him. This is tough in the sense of Big Lebowski grew on me. I was a little bit young for it when it first came out. I found it funny and it really captivating. I was like, man, because I had never seen anything like it. And it was like the dude just as a character. You know what I mean? I like silly characters. I like the Ladies' Man and the Pest. So just watching him bumble his way through things was like, oh, I could watch this dude all day.
Sure.
And some of the nuances were certainly lost on me. A lot of the dialogue was lost on me. So the staying power of that movie is really real because it's one of the few movies that most time with a movie I like, I'll be able to quote every single thing from it.
Sure.
And it's like, Step Brothers, there's certain things, it's just like, yep, you're going to be one of those movies and I'm going to run you to death. Big Lebowski has somehow eluded that aspect. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it really has.
I quote that movie so much.
Yeah, I know. I know a lot of people that do. But I'm a really big fan of that movie, actually. Like, again, I'm still getting things out of it because to be honest, I've probably seen it maybe a dozen times in my life, and even then that feels a little high. Beginning to end, it used to be on AMC all the time, and I'm like, I'll watch this sequence. Or
TNT or
whatever it might be. So I'm still getting things from it in terms of, and like when you just describing it earlier in the rounds, described it as a detective movie, I never saw it through that prism again. And it makes me want to go watch it again to be like, he's 1,000% right.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a detective story. And that was a really good point. Yeah. And so there's a lot of layers to that movie. I know I bashed Saving Private Ryan earlier, but again, this is like, say your piece about it now. It's a masterpiece. Like, unquestionably, it's a masterpiece. I agree. The issue is just like also Jurassic Park changed the way I see movies of like, I joke about it in The Matrix or John Wick. Like, John Wick changed the way I see fight sequences.
Right.
You can't do, to me, if you want to keep my attention, and I'm not saying they all need to be this way, obviously you can't ramp a car, you're going to need cuts in that. But if you're doing a fight hand-to-hand sequence, you better show me that stuff.
Right.
Same thing with, like, Saving Private Ryan with, like, war movies. It's like, you've upped the game and changed it to a point that I've seen what the top of the mountain looks like.
Right.
And so anything less than at least an attempt or being, we're going to try our best to do Steven Spielberg. And I get every war movie has a different feel and a vibe, but in terms of the realness of the combat, I've been changed in the way that I see movies forever. And that extends beyond the 90s.
Okay.
And so same thing with Jurassic Park was the point I was trying to make with that as well. It's like, don't come in the whack ass. I mean, unless it's campy, like I get animatronics are going to serve a different point. But if we're doing big budget now, and you have the budget to do it, don't come with no fake ass CGI.
Right. You can't half-ass it.
Same thing.
You got to put the money into it.
Same thing. It just got nominated for an Oscar. Just a quick aside note: Godzilla -1 got nominated for an Oscar. It's not the most phenomenal, like in terms of graphics of all time, but it was made by a studio of 35 people for a budget of like $12 million.
Yep.
And it looks better than a lot of the movies that came out of Marvel and DC that have $200 million budgets. So that movie, again, is one of those where like, I've seen what you can do with less when you're working efficiently. Bless you, Japanese culture, but like, miss me with that shit now.
Right.
And so that
I've seen what the standard is. Now this is the new bar.
What the hell is your excuse kind of thing.
Right.
And so, with that being said, it's really hard to vote against Saving Private Ryan. With all my beef it may have.
Ooh.
But this is the kicker though, man. The Big Lebowski, I'm still getting things out of. I kind of know what I'm getting in terms of Saving Private Ryan. I kind of know what I'm getting into. I get the overall themes. It's really heavy. It's masterfully shot, and I will not use a different word than that because that's what it is.
Sure.
Everything about it is on all cylinders. The tension, the everything, the like. Even though, well, maybe not the dialogue because I did make fun of it earlier. It does drag a little bit in that way. It's like soldier talk, soldier talk, soldier talk. Who you got back home? Who you got back home? My best gal. Oh, your best. It's like. I get it. They're realistic. But as a movie goer, sometimes like spice that shit up.
Fubar.
Yeah. Spice that shit up a little bit. Yeah, so I'm really torn on this one.
Comes down to you, sir.
I know.
This time you have to make the free throw
Shit.
for the game. Yeah.
I didn't think this one was going to be in the final.
Come on, Shaq.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'll miss it entirely. I'm going to lean the Big Lebowski, but it is not an easy decision. It is. There's a world again where this one goes through.
I love the Big Lebowski, so I'm fine. But
a tale of inches.
Okay. Well, ladies and germs.
Okay.
This is not how I saw it.
This is the final, right?
Our final, just to recap, our Elite Eight was Saving Private Ryan, Goodfellas, Pulp Fiction, and Big Lebowski. And we had Silence of the Lambs, Lion King, Jurassic Park, and Good Will Hunting on the other side. And our final comes down to The Big Lebowski versus Jurassic Park, Deep Blue Sea, A Shark Ate Meat.
Damn, son. This is the final?
This is it.
This is what it comes down to? This is
the
for
best
all
movie
Marvels?
All the Marvels.
The best Marvel, or the best movie of the 90s?
Yep.
Oh, man.
This is a free-for-all, yeah.
Look what you did to yourself.
I know. I love my wife, but she's a stripper.
Your wife's a stripper?
No.
I would have gone like, I love my wife, and she's telling me to stay sober, but she provides sex, but damn do I love weed.
That's right. Thankfully, I'll never have to make that choice because I'll never accept a woman that won't let me smoke weed.
Right, I get it. Well, anyways, we gotta get to it. The hard decisions must be made.
Man.
Remember, this is for future generations.
I'm going to make a hard decision. As much as I'm going to hate myself, as much as I love quoting the movie The Big Lebowski, as much as I love Jeff Bridges as a character study and it being a noir detective story for the modern age, I'm going to give it to Jurassic Park because it's Steven Spielberg. It's a great blockbuster movie, and I know that you hate blockbusters, but I think that in terms of delivering what it promised, in terms of spectacle and phenomenon and the way it revolutionized the way movies were made. That is such a it's such a stepping stone. It's such a linchpin of the 90s that to deny it would be a grave misservice. As much as I love The Big Lebowski as an independent film, which is kind of what the 90s was all about, you can't deny that Jurassic Park set the standard for pretty much every movie that came after it in terms of special effects and cinematography and just the way movies were done, in terms of you can do an intelligent movie that appeals to a broad family genre. You know, you can take your 9-year-old to go see that movie. You can go take your 90-year-old to go see that movie. And I don't feel that The Big Lebowski has the same drive and the same impetus and the same breadth of reach. So I'm going to give it to Jurassic Park, but God damn it, I don't feel good about it. But that's where I'm going to sit.
I'm going to ask you each a question after we get all done.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, so
I've got to go with Big Lebowski.
I knew you were going to do that.
Not because I don't think either one of these should be in the final two. It's not who I would have put there, but it's a fair process. I got outvoted. That's fine. But if these are the choices I have. This is, it's like we have Trump and Biden to select from, and you got to pick one of them because anything else you're just wasting your vote. And so
I'm going to go JFK Jr.
Like I said. So I'm going to go with Big Lebowski for the reason that you put out there earlier, in that if you're going to describe in the 90s, of the 90s, within the 90s, I'll go with that if we're talking about 90s movies. I liked Jurassic Park. Again, part of the campiness of it, just kind of like, that's just kind of silly and whatever, and unnecessary to be. If somebody would edit the camp out of it, I'd probably love the movie. But that movie is what it is, and so I'm going with Big Lebowski.
I just find it ironic that you're voting to cut out the camp of Jurassic Park and yet voting for The Big Lebowski, which is complete camp.
Because it's entirely camp. It doesn't sprinkle it in. It is camp.
Okay.
Whereas Jurassic Park, they added the camp.
So
that was for the 5-year-olds at home to giggle, ha ha ha. And that's what I hate about blockbusters. Is it tries to be everything to everybody, and it's nothing to nobody.
I would on many blockbusters I would agree with you, and on Jurassic Park I would not agree with you on that.
Yeah, they want to get the 10-year-old to giggle and whatever. Oh, he ate him in the poopy house, like whatever.
Hey, he ate him in the poopy house.
I mean,
that's going on a t-shirt.
Yeah, that'll be merchandise on our website too.
That's going on a hat.
Yep. Man, this is really tough. These are polar opposite movies. I think that I'll just do a point system here. The score goes to John Williams' Jurassic Park. The tan 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 tan.
Of course.
Tan 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 tan.
In terms of original,
and it goes
score.
like this. Le 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 le. I'm just like, yeah, that's a big. Dialogue's got to go to Big Lebowski. And you're talking about you went down a bad rabbit hole with me, Michael, because you talked about cinematographers. And guess who did The Big Lebowski? Roger Deakins, the man who was nominated for an Oscar 16 times and won for Blade Runner 2049.
Really?
Yeah, he did a lot of the Coen Brothers films.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know.
So wait, he was nominated 16 times and only won once?
Well, his first win was, yeah. Or they might have been for 1914. I can't remember, but it was one of them. He's
1917?
1917, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, one of those 14.
Same.
Whatever age
stuff
was.
going on, I know, right?
1492, 1692, whatever.
Man, the best movie of the 90s. I think, here's the thing, is I think that Jurassic Park is a far more important movie of the 90s.
Okay.
But in terms of the vibe of the 90s, man, it's hard to beat The Big Lebowski.
There you go.
I This is why I'm curious to ask you guys a question as soon as we're done here. But I think people are going to be mad at me, but I think I'm going to go with The Big Lebowski.
I don't think many people are going to be mad with you.
Yeah.
I think that's, again, it's...
They're only
it's-
going to be mad that you chose Big Lebowski and Jurassic Park as the final two, which they have every right to be.
No,
angry
I don't
about
want to.
that.
You were a part of this too, sir.
No,
you don't get to
exactly.
back out and throw us
I
on the
got
bus.
outvoted a lot.
You got voted with a lot too, and I'll show you
Hey,
that.
of the three of us, one of us is a lobbyist, so
Yeah.
I just want to point out, you
I
could have made a stronger
I tried
case.
to not bring those skills into it.
No, you did a fine
I
job.
tried
No,
to
this
not
was the
lobby too
time.
hard.
This is what you should have.
Nope.
So, for those that missed it, roll the drums. Big Lebowski, we've done the hard work for you, the people at home. Now,
The Big Lebowski,
The Big
the
Lebowski.
winner of Best Movie of the 90s.
Okay,
There it is. We've
There
done
it
the
is.
hard work for future generations.
that's right.
Real quick, what do you if you got to hand select, what do you think the best movie of the 90s is? Or you can tell me your final four and then go from there.
If I got to hand select,
No, or just give me your final four. Who, if you ran the bracket, who would be your final four?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I think Big Lebowski's in there. I think Jurassic Park's in there, and I think that Silence of the Lambs. But I still would give it to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
As the most 90s movie?
Yes.
Okay. What about you, Pops?
Saving Private Ryan,
Okay.
Casinos. Casino.
That
It's
wasn't
not
on
on the
there.
list.
That
but
was
you
a
asked me-
sequel.
Yeah, Casinos. Yeah. It's about a bunch of old ladies that go in and play
So, but
slot
good-
machines.
But Goodfellas was the one that was on.
I
so-
know, but you did. I didn't. I thought you were saying I could
You're
Pick
good.
anything.
put
Yeah.
anything.
Just put- yeah, it's fine,
All
it's
right. So, Saving Private Ryan, Casino, Silence of the Lambs, and Big Lebowski.
Who would you put as the winner?
Saving Private Ryan.
Really? Okay. See, we got it, but there's a common in all of us, so I'm going to tell you something. I would have Pulp Fiction, Jurassic Park, Forrest Gump, and The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
So what's the commonality in the final four?
The Big Lebowski.
There
Yep.
you go.
So
that,
there
that should
is
tell
a
you
reason
something.
it does.
Yes. Yep.
So, and the only I could see Saving Private Ryan, I could see Goodfellas, but yeah, I think Jurassic Park is too damn strong, and yeah. So, that being said,
It's final.
it's final.
Mark it down.
It's
Mark
final.
it down.
The Big
We shall
Lebowski.
We're going to have the award ceremony. We're going to invite the cast of the Big Lebowski over
Should.
and present them with the trophy.
I thought Pulp Fiction was going to win, just because I know you guys were big, and you can't help but look at some of the, like, when you're just doing research for this project in terms of, like, hey, what were movies in the 90s?
Right.
You're going to stumble across, like, things like, well, the top 100 films of the 90s.
Right.
And, like, near the top of each of them, like 1, 2, or 3 was Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
So, it made it to our final Elite 8. But, yeah, so... well, next year what we're going to do is we're going to cut this in half. We're going to do 2000 and through 2004.
Right.
So we don't have to miss 100 movies that deserve to be on the list.
right.
So
Because I know there's people screaming out there like, well, what about this movie?
Yeah,
Like,
we left some good movies
was-
out.
it's hard to
talked about
cover a
them,
decade's
yeah.
worth of movies and limit it to only 64. It really is.
Yeah,
there was
So-
the cutting room floor. You could do a whole different bracket on
Right.
it, being like
Absolutely.
Yeah, so-
Yeah.
But we're not going to do
fun.
it.
It was a good time. I had a great time doing it. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to coming in and doing. We should do a war movie one, and we should do a cowboy movie one.
Well, we'd love
So-
to have you back on.
Absolutely,
We do the brackets in March, so we'll save that. We're down for suggestions there. But anytime you want to come on the podcast, consider this an open invitation. Give us your top 5 westerns, your top 5 war movies, whatever it is. We'll
great.
watch a couple of them, and we can sit around and talk. Because what we do here at What You've Been Watching is we watch movies and we talk about it with someone we love. And you've certainly made the cut, Pops.
Cool.
So it's
Love
a
it.
pleasure
I
to do
love
this with you,
guys. It
man.
was a blast. It was cool.
So write it down. Big
We
Lebowski.
should also do like James Bond movies. Like
There's
a
only
top 5 of James Bond movies. That'd
do
be
it.
pretty fun.
That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
That'd be controversial too. I'll bet
I
there'd
bet.
be, you know.
So, anyways,
So that's something to look forward to.
yeah. So you'll be getting more Pops here on the Father X here on the on the podcast. But anything else you guys want to?
Thanks for having me. I love you.
That's it.
Thank you
That was
for
a
being here.
blast.
All right. Well, this is the MD3 signing out.
And Marvelous Mike Dudley saying, go watch a movie.
and talk about it with someone you love.
Peace out.
The dude abides.